What's up, everybody? Welcome to this very special episode of Press Any Key, number 67.
We're getting there.
I'm your host, Penn Eberano. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mike Burke, Nick McFly, and Jess is back on the ones and twos, everyone.
Woo!
It is Danny who went out in a blaze of glory this week.
This week.
Yeah, he did. And with us this week, special guest, everyone, Donald Boxman. Everybody give it up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, his name is Andy Box, everyone. And he's one of our friends from college, and he's got some music coming out.
Andy Box in the bunks.
No, not anymore. Flashback to 2016.
And
perfect.
He has spent the better part of 7 years working in a studio
Locked
in Florida, making some music.
Miami.
Miami. That's right.
How
Miami.
the locals pronounce it.
I got there and Will Smith wasn't there. It's like, welcome to Miami. You think he's going to be there. He wasn't there.
To greet you at the airport.
Yeah, he was working at the airport.
Andy, how you doing? Welcome to Miami.
I could see him too with
He gives
those
you like a
fucking
margarita.
With the lay, like, it's not
out on the
wrong.
tarmac. I was just gonna say, I see him as the guy with the fucking,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
It's
whole
like
Smith
dancing with
family.
them.
Yeah.
The whole Smith faded. Jaden's giving water out to the homeless. What's up, dude? How you doing?
I was gonna say that she was probably banging guys behind Will Smith's back somewhere on the terminal. but
She was actually hitting people up. It was
because that's like her thing, right?
That was his welcome to
that's
Miami.
remember
August Alsina.
that's like their thing. They love each other. They love each other so much, but they sleep with other people.
Hey, listen,
know?
when you're at that caliber of celebrity,
You do whatever you want.
They live a
Whatever you
different
want.
lifestyle than the rest of us.
we're
But
the,
yeah, the
we're the
305.
thousanders.
Yeah, the 1000ers, you know.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Speaking of thousanders, moisture farmers. We got
No.
we got more Star Wars
we're
news.
rolling it back. That's not going to work for me.
We got more Star Wars news.
Oh God.
No,
Speaking of
maybe you said
financial
something-
inequality.
If you want to talk about moisture in Miami, let's talk about those moisture farmers in Tatooine.
Oh yeah, okay, that works a little bit better. Thanks.
Fox, did you watch the Obi Wan trailer?
I did. I watched the trailer, but I didn't have much context for it.
There's
Okay,
also
so that
nothing
was-
in the
that's
trailer that's contextual.
What I was
Yeah,
gonna
it was-
ask
it was
you,
really weird.
actually, like, so obviously, as you can tell from listening to the show, we are huge Star Wars fans.
For sure.
Okay,
For sure.
I don't think we've ever hid that ever.
Despite Star Wars' best attempts.
Despite what you guys may think.
Despite how much Star Wars tries our patience, we are still Star Wars fans.
Yes, of course.
So for somebody who's not a Star Wars fan, and you watch that trailer, what do you take away from it?
I take it. So being that it's Ewan McGregor, it brings me back to the old episode 1, 2, and 3 when he was in it. But I guess
Isn't
it's
that
'cause,
wild?
you were the chosen
It's
one.
it's going to be like 30 years from that in a couple years.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
No, those came out in my lifetime, and
No,
I'm 30 years old.
those came out.
No,
like
I remember
when those
dude,
happened.
2000.
2000.
99.
It's going to
That's
be like
20
8
years ago.
years.
Crazy. Oh yeah, but still 25 if we round up.
It was
it'd be
30
a few
years from the last one when they did Phantom Menace, right?
It
Yes.
was
Because it was.
Or is it 30
like
years?
20-something
It was
from
30.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm messing up with Force Awakens. That's 30 years from the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I'm not.
No, it
I'm not
was
surprised
cool.
that you had that response, though.
Yeah.
get this
It was like I
We'll
guess
figure
it
it
left
out.
me wanting more, and I didn't watch any of the Mandalorian. I didn't watch any of the
What was
Boba Fett
What
Mandalorian.
was the last Star Wars media that you
The
saw?
last thing I saw was the last movie, the 9th movie, the one where they kill the fucking.
so you have seen
you
all
are
the
up to
main
date on the,
franchise.
like-
on like
Yeah.
the main franchise.
Okay.
Yes. But not
Original
any-
recipe
not any
Star
spin-offs.
Wars.
Well,
Well, sorry,
and
and
any original recipe
Sorry, yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. I mean, obviously, Force Awakens was like really cool and it like brought the franchise back. But the second two movies, honestly, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan.
I was right on board with you with Force Awakens when it came out, but the more movies they added, the glimmer kind of went
Dude, they
away.
are so
Definitely,
like that's like the thing with Star Wars fans is like the cool thing now is to hate Disney.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
totally. Yeah, because they bought it and they just fucked it up.
Well, did they?
Well, I mean, they milked it. I feel like they
feel
could
like
have put,
they tried to
got
treat
that-
Star
they got
Wars
the
the
blue
same as
milk out of
Marvel,
it.
and it's just not the same.
Totally.
It's-
That's
you
yeah.
also don't have someone at the top of Lucasfilm with a singular vision for a long-term plan like Kevin Feige. Exactly. And that's kind of like the issue that most of these other studios are.
Well, that's the problem you're gonna have when you're sold and given to like a big ass company where it's like, with music now where there's 15 people writing it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have that
They also look at it like corporate assets.
Exactly.
How much money can I make off of this? You know what I mean?
And how can I approach it in a commercial way as opposed to like an artistic?
Intellectual property is like one of those assets that you can inflate the property of over time, as opposed to buying like a piece of hardware and just watching it go to shit over years.
What's even sad,
which is weird because I feel like that's Star Wars right now.
I was about to say, we're watching something go to shit.
What's really sad to me though is obviously when Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau took over, it's like, okay, here we go. Now we're picking up speed. But then watching how The Mandalorian just kind of crashed and burned. So you didn't see it, but not the Mandalorian. Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that was bad.
Started out.
Well, no, that's the Mandalorian.
All I heard was just bad.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started out strong, and then it turned into just like, how do we stick in as many, in jokes and references as possible? And,
Totally. Yeah, it's like I feel like it's not about making one really good thing anymore. It's how do we spread it out and make 30 okay things just to run up the streams and to keep people's fucking attention.
Yes, that is true. But then you look at someone like DC, who's been trying to do interconnectivity for the better part of a decade,
not working.
and for whatever reason, their solo, unconnected, standalone movies absolutely smash. The Batman has already made more money than all of Batman Begins did in its entire theatrical run. That is understanding that Schumacher killed Batman in the 90s, and Batman Begins had an upward battle.
Yeah,
because reboots weren't really a thing then. You know what I mean? Batman Begins was one of the first reboots.
Definitely. But I feel like you can thank Spider-Man for that. Maybe that's just my
plugged in her
perspective
phone.
of the first. Who was it? Sam Raimi. All
right, now you're taking it too far.
Raimi. I feel like that brought back superheroes was now in the public discussion. Everybody loved them. Or at least that's when I was like, okay, everyone's going to see superhero movies. And then they rebooted Batman. It's like that's what kickstarted fucking everything.
And I just watched a documentary on the Dark Knight trilogy actually from Warner Brothers, and they said from the get-go the incentive wasn't to sell toys, it was to tell a story. So they wanted to get a filmmaker who is passionate about
great idea.
Who is passionate about the project. Passionate about the character, but didn't have a big enough name. So it would fundamentally change what they were trying to do, or it would be too expensive.
Yeah.
And then, the rest is history. We have Christopher Nolan.
Now we have NFTs.
We have NFTs.
Did you get you got your Batman NFT?
I got my NFT.
Did you get yours? We got when
you got, but they give you Batman NFTs. Yeah, well, Nick sent me his, and then I just screenshot it. So now I got it too.
No, but this is what it is.
I screenshotted it.
When we bought it through the AMC app and shit.
Yeah,
they were like, you were one of the first X amount of customers, so you get a commemorative movie.
That's
NFT.
fucking awesome.
It auto generated. Too, so it's like.
Is it gonna auto change or is that just what it is?
No, it's still image.
Okay.
But so you would go online and then join a queue, and I jumped in. It was the first day, and it was okay, there's 4,672 people in front of you. Keep this window open, and it was an hour went by, and then it was okay, now generating your NFT. So it's not I think the grand scheme of NFTs is to create art and put value behind digital art that's not there with physical art.
Yeah.
But it's just capitalism at its finest,
totally,
auto-generating your NFT.
There is nothing about NFTs or cryptocurrency that makes any sense to anyone with a thinking brain anymore.
I will give
it's
you
just
the
cleaning
concept.
money. We're moving drugs around. Let's just clean our money.
Now the concept with Web3 and music in the future and art in the future is supposed to be putting money back into every sale, contributes back to the original artist. Which
that makes sense.
That makes sense because you're getting rid of publishing and all that bullshit. But when you're giving out a Batman NFT that looks like somebody made it in 3 minutes on Photoshop, it's just you've commercialized and you've gotten rid of the bullshit of all this process.
Also, the other thing to keep in mind too is the reason that they did this NFT thing was to get it, you have to make an account on DC Universe or DC Comics.
Oh, yeah.
Because the data is more worth it, bro.
It's you're capturing their email address, their location.
Definitely. And then you check the one box and then they can monitor everything that you do.
Yep.
Well, I was explaining this technology to someone the other day. Blockchain technology is permanent. It doesn't go away. So let's say someone takes a naked photo of anyone in this room, right?
What do you mean? We don't take naked photos.
Let's say boxes. I had boxes naked photo. Okay.
Let's say
I put it on
Let's go in that drawer right there.
whatever any of those fucking NFT sites are. Right. I don't even need to sell it to someone. I can sell it to myself, and it's locked in blockchain forever. You can never take that away. That never comes off the internet.
The Boxcock shot will be
that
on
is
there.
well, yes. You can't ever get it down. Is basically what I'm saying. Like it's hard coded into the blockchain. Like that's it.
Yeah, no,
like
it's
it doesn't
you
come
can't
down.
destroy that.
Yes,
Yeah.
The transaction. The
very good choice of word. It can't come down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
The transaction.
Okay, actually, wait,
history.
hold on.
It's on there forever. You're right.
Not that I don't love the conversation about NFTs. Obi
That's
Wan.
misinformed.
Yeah.
Just
But
wanna
are
make
they
a note.
doing Obi-Wan NFTs?
Probably.
You know they're
Probably,
going
right?
to.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
Absolutely.
Boxcock.com is available.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Yeah. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen at home?
Andrew Boxton's new album, Boxcock.com.
Boxcock.com.
The tagline is
We're actually
just
talking about my
it's
rooster
everywhere.
coop. I actually have a rooster
Everywhere.
coop at home. It's like 25 roosters.
Wait, do you really?
Yeah, it's they're all the Boxcocks.
This is your like.
This is hold on. Are you being serious right
Yes.
now?
They
This is
are
100%
they are
serious. You
actually
haven't
the
seen the
species
pictures
of
on
the
No.
world's largest cocks.
That's awesome.
It's box cocks. The world's largest cocks is 25 cocks in the coop. And yeah, bro.
You said cock a
Cocks
lot.
in the coop.
Are you selling them, or are they just for display?
No,
You
so
can't sell cocks.
So it's just big cocks on display for people that would want to come see it. We charge a little bit of money. You can come and you can pet the cocks. You can hang out with them.
Now,
They're really friendly.
what predatory Floridian wildlife are in your backyard?
Those
because
gators.
I know that when you put prey in your backyard, you will
Some
attract
gators
predators.
come-
Well-
honestly, the most dangerous thing in Florida are the toads, bro. The toads kill more animals and dogs than anything else.
Oh, 'cause they eat them?
rains. No, yeah, so the dogs will either eat the toads or they lick them or like because the dogs are fucking friendly and they go up to the toads and like, what up, toad? And the toad's like, I'm poisonous, lick, and then the dogs die. Like I shit you not, like literally like hundreds of dogs. Every time there's a rainstorm, there's like hundreds of dogs that die in Florida. So if you have a dog, don't let him out.
Recently, there was a cold
rain.
spell.
Do you
in
think Ron
Florida.
DeSantis can lick a toad?
Sure.
I think he is a toad. If you look at him, he is an
He
anthropomorphic
really is.
toad.
He is
He
kinda
really
toad-like.
is.
With honestly less of a personality.
He's 38, right?
no,
He's pretty young.
bad. If he's 38,
He's
then that
he's
is
an
not
old
a
ass
good
looking toad.
Yeah, he's an old ass looking 38-year-old.
He is.
Yeah, I know he's young though. He's not old. Either way though, Obi Wan, Ron DeSantis.
He's kind of old now.
How old is
Yeah,
he?
Obi-Wan is old.
Oh, Obi.
Obi-Wan's probably fucking.
Okay, yeah.
He's
so
licking
Ron
toads on
DeSantis
Tatooine.
runs.
43.
He's 43. Okay.
43.
Okay.
Ron DeSantis runs Tatooine in the Obi-Wan trailer.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we figured out. We've put
How
that
did
together.
we get here?
And they've banned CRT from Tatooine for some reason.
Yeah. He can't say gay on Tatooine anymore.
can't do
It's
that
over.
either.
Can't- oh.
It's over. Okay.
But yeah, so this is taking place 10 years after the events of Episode 3.
Is that what they said? That's what the timeline
Well,
is.
I mean, Luke Skywalker is a little boy, so
Oh, that's who the little kid was that was doing
Uh-huh,
the.
that's Luke.
See, I thought it was Anakin
Yeah,
at first,
it's
but I was like,
before
that
his
doesn't
house
add
got
up.
burned down.
Gotcha. It was before the tragic event of the fire of 2135.
It's only 100 years in the future.
Only 100 years. Oh, yeah, it's probably more than that. Actually, it was a long time ago in a galaxy
It's
far,
just,
far
it's just
away.
circles. You know, we just
it's
start
just
over
like
at zero.
it's
and
just
then-
disappointing. I will say
Over
this.
and over again.
It is kind of disappointing that one, more fucking sand. Okay.
It-
Two, the other thing is just kind of like Obi-Wan didn't like do something else for 30 years.
Yeah, no, he was just chilling.
He was just chilling on
Well,
the
no-
on the sand planet.
hold on. Let
Go
me
ahead,
get in
Nick.
here.
Maybe he's got some
I
mental
get like
shit.
he's
Maybe
at the
he's
outer
fucked
rim
up.
and he's in hiding, but like
He's there to protect. His mission is to protect Luke and to be in hiding because they're hunting Jedis.
Yes.
It's only also been from the time that he went into hiding to the time of like the events of Episode 4. It's only 17 years. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't that long of a period. This is the one show that should be sand. Book of Boba Fett should not have been sand.
100%.
Mandalorian, no sand. Outer space. Take us across the
you know what?
galaxy.
When you say it like that, fair enough. I will give you the sand.
This is sand.
on
the
this
movie.
one.
You're just tired
We
of
wasted
sand.
the good sand on
Tired.
you.
The whole reason that all of these events take place, that Luke is here, that Obi-Wan is here, is because they know that Anakin doesn't like sand. So they're like, this is a good place to hide.
Nobody
Exactly.
likes sand.
Vader can't come here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, there's sand everywhere. It's gonna get in my fucking mechanical
Like
lung.
crevices.
Darth Vader sounds like someone from fucking Minnesota. Oh, there's sand everywhere, you know?
I got it in my britches.
Do people from
For the
Minnesota
Sith Lord,
say
you're really a
britches?
little bitch.
Have you been to Minnesota?
No.
Yeah, they do.
Minnesota. Minnesota.
Well, then, yes.
Send in my Vikings jersey. It's not good, man.
It's fucking everywhere, bro.
Oh, no.
But he is Darth Vader at the time
Yes.
of
Yes.
this, in this timeline.
They didn't
right?
show us in the trailer, but they put out a still afterwards being like, don't worry, everyone. Darth Vader's in this. It's just like,
I mean, yeah.
I get that they're ramping up. Like, they're building the hype. And like,
They're edging.
This
It's all foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars
All
show
part of the
is
magic.
already starting on the back foot though. Like the fans are already like, no, because Book of Boba Fett turned out to be a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah.
And we've seen what Disney has done to like prior characters and how they treat them in their iteration. So there's already that to look out for. But I mean, most importantly, I just kind of feel like they focus on the storytelling. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what they need to really, like, I get that we all want another fucking Duel of Fates on Mustafar. Like, I get we all want that. Not going to happen,
Just doesn't
though.
serve the story.
It's not going to happen. There's
The
no
whole
way.
thing, like-
Darth Vader can't move like that.
Not only that,
Not anymore.
so in episode 4, you have the big showdown between Darth Vader and Obi Wan, and it's like, oh, I feel a presence that I haven't felt in many years.
You can't have them do that and then go
it's like
back
you're
and
just
like,
completely
you're
ruining all
Yeah,
that.
and also, like, Vader's another one of those villains that can't turn his neck.
he's
You know?
a regular
He's
Batman.
a big shoulder guy. Yeah. He's a big shoulder guy.
what do you think was in that Danish?
You think James Earl Jones is going to do the voice
As
thing?
tired as he'll sound, yes.
No, you have to think that by now they've created like an AI that can just mimic his voice.
They did that in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
and they
Did they?
also did that in God, what's that fucking movie?
Good Will Hunting.
Yes, that's the one. Robin Williams. For whatever reason.
Robin Williams pre his
Yeah.
death.
Rest in peace, Robin.
They're getting ahead of the
God,
ball.
what's his name?
He would have been a great Darth Vader.
Hold on, we're getting far away. We're getting farther away from what I'm trying to say.
The Empire, kill the rebels, kill them now.
John Favreau. It looks like the Jungle Book. They remade it.
Jungle
I loved
Book.
it as a kid.
Just let him do it. Let
Lion
him-
King. There we go. That's the one. 2019 Lion King.
You remember Jungle Book, but not Lion King.
I couldn't put it together. They did when James Earl Jones played Mufasa again.
But that made sense.
Yes, it made sense. They couldn't cast anyone else as Mufasa. It just wouldn't have the same.
definitely.
But the problem was they used a combination of lines from the old movie, like recorded dialogue, new stuff, and they did some digital manipulation in there to give it some more heft because they just recorded new lines for what's it called? Some heft.
Good Will Hunting. The reboot.
Rogue One.
Right.
And Darth Vader sounds like he just woke up from a very long nap in that movie. It's just like, director critic, so
Yeah, I mean, he's what, like 80 something now?
he's got to be at
Yeah,
least.
he's an old boy.
As much as
legend.
I'm glad that he's still involved. It's at a certain point they handed down Chewbacca to a younger actor, even though Peter Mayhew is still alive. Just 'cause
I
He's
mean, well, that was a
91.
little. He's 91. God bless him.
They're getting
man.
this
God
in
bless
before
James
the-
Earl Jones. That's
John Williams is coming back to do the score. It's
great.
like,
He's
Yeah.
like 176 years
yeah,
old.
he's very
Well,
old.
he doesn't.
He
write
was
anything
writing with
anymore. He doesn't
Vivaldi.
write
And
I got
Beethoven
one
back in
last
the day.
Duel of Fates in me.
Like I know Hans Zimmer does that type of stuff, but I don't want to think that for John
Hans
Williams.
Zimmer, notoriously does
Yeah.
that. John
What?
Williams, where he basically is like, here's my writing team. That I like. This is mine now.
Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
John Williams,
Gotcha.
not as
Yeah, he
much.
I
comedy.
get
He's
the
also-
credit.
he's
You
also-
get to work with John Williams.
Literally, yeah. He's also old as shit too. So I mean, he'll
And he's also
he'll
repurposing a lot of the same
Michael
themes from...
Giacchino
Oh, yeah.
did a good job with Rogue One.
Yeah,
he did a
that was
great job with Batman
I forgot
too.
about Rogue One. That was a crazy ending because that threw me off. I didn't think they were going to sacrifice themselves and all die at the end.
You didn't read the opening paragraph of the first Star Wars movie? That's the whole plot. They literally took that paragraph and was like, we could make a whole
How do I
movie out
break
of
this
this.
into
Oh,
2 hours?
fuck, you're right. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
The
crazy.
Bothians or whatever. Bothans or whatever.
Bothan Spies.
The Bothans.
Bothan Spies. All right. Either way, though, I mean, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna
Should
talk
we
about
talk
it
about
on
the
the show.
trailer?
Like it's I mean, listen, my whole thing is just like, I get they're ramping up. People are also upset over that it's not coming out on May 4th.
Well, that's just a dumb.
Well, it's just stupid because like they're targeting, they can't have two shows going at once. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Because Star Wars and Marvel are the same demographic.
Oh,
You can't have two
you're
shows
right.
going
Welcome
at
to
once.
Press
You
Any
want
Key.
all the hype.
What Marvel show is going on?
Moon Knight starts at the end of the month and goes all the way right up to Obi Wan.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Fair enough.
that'll be this season of Press Any Key. Will
there
be
needs to
fucking
be one
Moon
thing
Knight.
going on at a time to keep us subscribed to that
Yeah.
service.
That's it. That's
Yo,
it.
I
Yeah.
love how we just gave up on Hawkeye. We were like, fuck this show.
No, not all of us.
I finished it.
I finished it.
Man, me and Danny were like, I'm fucking
That
done.
was
You're
to
not
me-
getting
My girl
me
and I
on
think
Hawkeye.
we
You
watched
had
the first
10 years
episode.
to make this guy a movie. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing
Just
is,
wasn't
the
good.
last
Yeah.
like episode or two was where stuff happened.
Yeah.
The rest of it was bullshit.
I
So,
would
so I'm
say
gonna fast forward just to the last.
I just
You
feel
won't
like
miss
it's worth a
anything.
watch. Did you like WandaVision?
That's another one that me and my girl watched like the first 2 episodes of, and it just like we didn't.
That's
it's like-
one. So WandaVision, everything like the beginning for me was super slow, and I wanted to give up. I'm glad that I didn't give up. Hawkeye, it was slow and it was consistently slow, but it was there weren't as extreme highs and lows through it. All of it felt consistently, internally consistent. So
Okay.
good in a different way.
But is there any major plot points that you need to know from them, or is it just kind of like they were just let's just
No,
milk
because
it,
the
let's
two
just
things
give
that
people
the one
some
character
shit?
that they set up to go on for the future, they just came out and said like 2 weeks ago that they're not the same version of that character.
Oh, so they set it up and they were like, "I'm sorry, guys,
I don't want to spoil
totally
it.
different
I don't want to
direction."
spoil it for anyone, but there's a character from a Netflix series that shows up, and they said that guy
Shit.
is not this.
Luke Cage?
Same character,
Yes.
same whatever.
Throw him off the trail.
Yeah, same character,
Lightning,
same
I'm just gonna throw
character,
out the
same
rear.
continuity, same actor, but it's not the same. Like they're not picking up off of anything from Netflix. They're just
Gotcha,
taking the actors and cast over, which is wild
That's
because
the
they're,
right-
they're
that's the right way
putting
to
those
do it.
shows on Netflix. I mean, on Disney
They're
Plus
flipping
though.
them over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey,
Um.
they want the monopoly on their properties.
That's
Yeah.
true. They don't. They're
monopoly.
like
I
we're
want the
doing.
But
boardwalk.
it's also just a win for Netflix because nobody was watching those shows, and Disney probably wrote a fat fucking check
Oh,
and was
definitely.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're not using those anymore. We'll
enough.
take those." You know?
We'll
So-
take those superheroes from you really quick.
Yeah, it'll be all
You
good.
can keep Iron Fist.
Not you.
I actually liked
Stay.
Iron.
You are the
Fist.
one
Yeah?
person I've ever met that has said
Mainly
that.
because it's more like I don't know, because it's more like kung fu based. I thought that was cool. It was like an interesting take on it.
Have you
And, like,
never
I fuck
watched
with RZA,
Daredevil?
everything that
I
RZA
was
does.
gonna
I'm
say,
like,
did you see Daredevil?
Did you see Daredevil?
I saw the
Daredevil-
Ben Affleck one, but not
No, the
not the
Netflix
Netflix one.
Have you
only
ever seen the
relevant
Netflix
one.
one?
No,
Watch
but I
the
knew when he
Netflix one.
showed up in the Spider-Man movie for some reason, even though I never saw Daredevil, I knew immediately. I was like, "That's fucking Daredevil right there."
Yeah. He's the only blind guy in the MCU.
He's the only blind
He's the
guy.
only blind guy.
And he stops the
He's
brick.
the only blind guy who could
I'm a
still
good
see
lawyer.
you.
I can still see you. Yeah,
You're like, what does that have to do with fucking law? That's a brick.
Bro, let's see
Guys,
your
that was
fucking lawyer
mine.
catch a brick. A blind lawyer catch a brick.
It's well, I mean, then in
what's he gonna
Miami,
do with
lawyers are moving much different bricks.
Yeah, I do.
whole different. meaning.
I will say that I like the one thing I do like about how they're using Daredevil now is how it's like Daredevil's not like that special of a superhero in the sense where he's not like super strong or anything, but like he knows how to use his senses. You know what I mean? He's blind, but he can listen. He can hear your heartbeat. He can like see the fucking whatever it's called, right? Like he learned all that shit from
echolocation of
Stick,
that shit,
right?
yeah.
So either way, though, you didn't need to have Daredevil show up and be a part of some big sequence with 3 Spider-Men and all those villains because it would have felt out of place. But having him be Peter's lawyer because he is also from New York City,
Makes perfect
he's
sense.
a superhero, and all they had to do was have him catch that brick. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I
That's
would've
a
liked to see
perfect
him
Daredevil cameo.
like an hour-long
You're right.
litigation scene where he's like defending
hour-long litigation.
Like my
Yeah.
cousin Vinny.
They actually cut that. The 3 Utes over here. The what?
Peter. The Peters.
the Peter Parkers, the fucking Spider-Man. You know, he got a fucking thing coming out of his. Fucking.
Justice is blind. So am I.
So we really don't want to talk about Star Wars, do we?
Yeah, no, Star Wars sucks. Either way, listen, we're gonna watch it. So,
Here's going to be my closing statement on this.
Nice.
I
lawyer.
have, yes. Here's my final closing argument. I have high hopes. I don't want to get hurt again by Star Wars, But I think they're going to put a lot of care into this one just because Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
Definitely,
100%.
definitely. I feel like he wouldn't have signed on if it wasn't a good story. So there's got to be some.
Hayden Christensen is coming back.
Is
as
it real?
well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting the big boys to revive, but also put it in context. What have they been doing the last couple years?
Just hanging out in the desert.
So it may be worrisome because if you think about
Talking
it,
about like the actual actors.
the actual actors, yeah, because it's like, were they really in demand that much that
Not
they
Hayden
were?
Christensen, but Ewan McGregor's been very busy.
Has he? Okay.
He did Dumbo. He was in Dumbo. He was in.
Did you?
I did not
watch
see
Dumbo?
Dumbo.
Hayden
See, that's what I'm
Christensen was
saying.
in Dumbo.
No.
He was in. Oh wait,
Colin Farrell's in
Colin
Dumbo.
Farrell was.
I don't know.
Bro, I had no
Was he-
idea
he was in
Colin
one of-
Farrell
he
was
was in one of
Penguin
those-
until I watched the show.
But,
what?
What was the Shining sequel?
Oh,
that's not Hayden Christensen.
Doctor Sleep.
No, not
That's-
Hayden Christensen.
Oh, Ewan McGregor. Oh, Dr. Sleep.
You're right. You're right.
Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
So he did that, and he's done like I know I'm naming like nothing
Yeah.
movies at this point, but
Either way, though,
he's been very active.
He was
We're
in
gonna
2
watch
episodes
it.
of a show that was on FX.
we're gonna watch it.
in
You're
Birds of
gonna
Prey.
watch it.
Yeah, he was the villain.
What are
in
we still doing
Birds
here?
of Prey.
Yeah.
All right,
Christopher
so
He was in
Robinson.
Christopher Robin.
we don't have to have a big conversation about this one. Look,
He
Ewan
was in
McGregor
Robots
is
with
a working
Robin.
actor. Okay,
He
it's not
will be
Christian.
in Pinocchio.
Yes, he's
Hayden
gonna be in
Christensen,
Pinocchio.
Totally.
where
Yeah.
everybody fucking hated him, so he went into hiding afterwards. Okay, it's not how this works.
You're right. You're right.
he's gonna
what
be
was
in-
that one movie that he did? Jumper, where he's like
Jumper,
jumping.
that's
That was
right.
actually a pretty good movie.
I like Jumper, but they just stole that. They saw that one sequence in X-Men 2 where he teleports everywhere, and they're like, we could do a whole movie around this.
Can we get Sam Jackson? Put
Yeah.
him in the movie.
Oh yeah, he is in that.
He is. He's like the main.
Who plays his mom? Is it
Sam's
Samuel
mom?
L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson?
no. Who
Just like
plays?
a wig and that's it. Like,
Why would that be a great fucking movie?
it'd be so fucking fun. That's like a weird like Quentin
It's like
Tarantino
how
kind of.
Eddie Murphy plays all the roles
Yep.
in those old comedy movies. You get Sam Jackson.
I would love to see him do that.
It's an all Sam Jackson version of Jumper.
So can we get the script running on this? Can we pitch it to Netflix? I think
we can.
I think they would bite.
We got to get the rights to Jumper first, but we'll do it.
No. We can write a spec script without having any rights.
They stole the idea. We can steal it right back.
Boom! It's the middle of the pandemic. Okay, he can't go anywhere. He starts jumping in and out of places without a mask or a vaccination, and it turns into a nightmare.
The government's after him. Put on your mask.
Holy
don't
shit,
care
it's
that you're
Jason Bourne.
All right.
And then Ron DeSantis definitely has to cameo.
Yeah.
They call somebody gay, and he comes out. He's like, whoa.
And the final scene, he licks a toad because he will defend his freedom. God damn it. He will.
perfect.
Comedy. All right. So,
Comedy.
Does Sam Jackson play the toad?
we don't have to.
I like how we've called him Sam. We've totally taken out the respect of the Samuel L.
He's a friend of the show. Like,
Yeah,
it's his
he's-
first name basis here.
So, we don't have to have a big conversation about this. I just want to mention this to have this on the record for this show. Gotham Knights finally got a release date, October 25th,
Right in the
2022. Right when I'm fucking on vacation, so I won't be able to touch it for a week.
They did this to spite you.
They did do this to spite
we'll
me.
play the game and beat it before PAK gets back.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're not playing that game anymore.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
No. This isn't how it's supposed to happen.
It's fucked up.
But yeah. So I just want to
That's on
have,
the
that on the record.
Just hitting the glass. Like, no.
The fucking
I'm a
flight
little
deck.
bit of an
Can you
outsider
guys
here.
make this fucking plane go any slower?
Gotham Knights. That's video game, not
Yes,
movie.
yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to give you a little bit of everything. So I got TV news, video game news, tech news, and movie news.
Perfect.
So like I said, we don't have to have a big conversation about this one. However, I wanted to get this on record for our show, but this is coming out. And I am looking forward to this.
I know the basic premise. It's like all of Batman's young wards. It's the whole cast of characters. But it's a multiplayer game?
Yeah, it's a 4-player
So you get to
co-op
play as,
game.
like Robin, Red Robin,
Black Robin.
Unlimited fries.
So it's not Batman.
Help me out.
Pat, come on.
So it's everybody
I
else
like this
but
new list.
Batman.
Yeah, so supposedly
Batgirl.
Batman's dead. There's no way he's actually dead.
No, you can't just kill
And
off.
well, okay, so the end of the last game,
spiritually dead.
the end of the last game,
Yeah.
which came out
is great.
in
in the way. Fucked up.
Can I interrupt real quick? Yesterday it was raining, and you bet your ass I was driving around in the rain listening to fucking Nirvana.
Dude, that song has had a 1,200% increase in streams since that movie came out, and I was like, dude, fucking Dave Grohl is getting checks from the Batman.
But you know
right
what I was
now.
thinking too? There's no like you got to think that the Beatles are probably like that's a little bit maybe because
Get our hands on
something
some of
in
that.
the way
Oh,
she moves.
I'm sure
It's not an
I
interpolation.
never thought
You're
it's-
fine.
if
You cannot copyright or trademark song titles.
Well, tell that to Marvin Gaye.
no, but it's kind of similar. It's
that's true. Well, there is.
No,
Believe me, he's
You're
tried.
you can't.
Either way, though, the whole thing is Batman's dead. I don't think he really is. It is this game. This game doesn't take place in the same universe as the last game. It's like a new continuity, but it's picking up from the events of that last game.
Charlie Cox is going to be in it.
Yes, Charlie Cox is going to be in it. So is Vincent D'Onofrio. So, well, oh, really? Because they can just Google it at this point. Either way, it's Batman's dead because he died in the last one. This one, it's the Court of Owls. The Penguin's also in the trailer, so he's gonna make an appearance. And it's supposed to be 4-player co-op. Everybody takes up one of Batman's characters, and you go around Gotham and you beat up a bunch of criminals. And
It's RTS.
Yes, it is an RTS.
That would be the quickest way to ruin that game.
If they made that an RTS, I would literally, I would probably get rid of my computer. I'd be like, all right, well, I don't need this. This is what I was waiting for.
For those at home that don't know what an RTS is,
Well,
what is an
that's very
RTS?
thoughtful of
Well,
you.
I saw the question mark go over your head.
It was Riddler all
Can
fucking
you
day.
unplug your phone and plug it back in?
No more lies.
No, it's a real-time strategy game. So it's like you're looking at the battle above and commanding units and
Oh,
like you're
no,
like a
that's-
turn-based combat.
Gotcha. Okay.
No. Turn-based is different than RTS. You can have a
really?
turn-based RTS.
In my head,
but-
it was turn-based.
Yeah. If they
Oh.
made a turn-based, I'd be like, wow.
It's like those
I don't even
tower
wanna talk about
defense
that.
games on my phone.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what.
Plants
Yeah.
vs.
I'm
Zombies.
picturing.
Yeah,
That's
or
what's
like
up.
the tower
The
defense
zombies are
games
funny.
you play in between like the porn loading on your phone. You know
What's
what I
that?
mean? You know, on Reddit. Oh, am I the only one? Okay, sorry.
Oh shit! I buy my porn.
The game where Mario is doing his thing and Peach and Bowser are hanging out in the next room.
I gotta get there.
Peach and Bowser.
That was a wild game.
Liz played that game.
Let's play that game twice.
Did you beat it?
Hey,
Bowser beat
that's
it.
some hard.
Did we tell you about
Bowser was beating
That's
it.
some,
about
that's
this
some,
game? I don't
some
know if we
hard ass
talked about
Hold on.
platforming.
No, I did not.
That's like
We'll tell them afterwards. We'll tell them afterwards.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up. Either way, though, you
was laying
can't.
a lot of
You
pipe
can't be
probably
two of the.
this.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. I get
You can't be two of the same hero. So someone has to be Batgirl, someone has to be Robin.
this was
someone has to be
multiverse.
Yeah, pretty much. What is this shit? But there's going to be a bunch of different costumes you can choose from. You can take on boss battles together, and it's not like Elden Ring where you just summon people at summoning stands and like the two of you take on a boss together or a certain section. It's like you can just hop into somebody's world and do everything together if
Do
you
you
want
know who's the developer and who's like the studio
it's,
behind it?
Warner Brothers Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
It is not Rocksteady who did the first 3 Batman games.
Right. Okay.
They did a Batman game in 2013 called Batman Arkham Origins,
yeah.
and that's like the prequel to the
all of
Rocksteady
the
games.
ones,
yeah.
yeah.
And Rocksteady's doing the Suicide Squad game, so that's why they're not working on this.
That
I
looks
can't
good.
wait for all the microtransactions of all the outfits and all the bullshit.
It's not one of those games.
You don't think so?
Microtransactions.
No,
You really don't think
I
so?
do not think that they are going. That it's going to be like, God, what is it called? Fortnite in that sense, where there'll be a battle pass or something where if you don't get it, it's gone forever. Where like every Batman game up until that point had DLC that you pay for. Obviously, it's like $20, but you get a shit ton of stuff. You get all the suits, you get all the maps, you get all the characters. You know,
Well,
it's
that's
like
what I'm thinking.
that's what DLC is supposed to be.
I think they're
you
probably
know?
going to do it in a way of like smaller monetizations as opposed to being like, here's $20, you get 15 things. It's kind of like this package.
That would
this
make
package.
more sense nowadays too, just
Yeah,
with the way
I mean,
that the
they
NFT market
do-
is and the way
right.
you can market the digital content.
Well, what they do now is like, and this pisses a lot of people off, is like they'll put out the bare bones version of the game when it's brand new for $60, and then you can get like an $80 version though that'll have all of the content in it, right? And it'll have like the first DLC pack or whatever.
And like all your shit
can buy
unlocked, too,
yeah,
already.
or you can buy the game for $60 and you can buy what's called the season pass for an additional $50 or $60, and that gives you all of the content drops for year round.
Okay, that's
And
cool. That's
year
cool.
round though, they'll put out another version of that game called Game of the Year Edition, regardless if it won Game of the Year or not.
It's like it
And
was the
put
worst game of the year.
All
actually.
of the fucking content that came out a year
And
over
make
a
it
year
$40.
and make it $40
Oh,
and be like,
fucker.
fuck you.
This is why I don't buy AAA games until like a year
but
later.
That's to me, that's not rewarding loyal fans. That's like
It's
you would
not.
think that they would. It
Yeah,
would
we
kind of
know.
Be some of
Well,
the
that's why
opposite
everyone
philosophy.
no one
loves
gives a
Elden-
fuck anymore.
Well, that's
No
why
one gives a fuck
That's
the
why
consumer,
everyone
okay?
loves Elden Ring.
Capitalism.
Capital C capitalism. Yeah,
That's why
you're
everyone
right.
loves
It's fucking
Elden
crazy.
Ring though, because that game can be played for hundreds of hours, and there's no season pass, there's no microtransactions.
And you can fight the pot of greed.
Yes, every
I summon the pot of greed.
I got fucking swarmed by those pots last night.
Oh, when they fall,
were
the big
fucking
dude that fell on you.
everywhere.
It's a really fun
But
game.
yeah, either way,
Yeah,
my point
I
is,
have heard really good things, and I have friends down in Florida that do play a little bit of video games, and they've been talking about it too. So
yeah, Elden Ring
Gonna get it?
make quite a splash.
I don't play, dude. I play N64 sometimes when I'm home.
where it's at.
That's fine.
I love
me
I love
respect
watching
that.
What are
video
your
games.
top 3 N64 games?
Okay, Legend of Zelda,
Which one?
Ocarina of Time.
Of course.
Okay, of course.
Number 2 would be GoldenEye, James Bond,
Okay.
obviously.
Solid.
And number 3, I'm gonna go with the original WWF Raw.
Wow.
Dude, I love that game
love
for
that
N64.
game.
It was amazing.
That was the best
Yeah.
one.
You can just like completely stun lock people by just throwing them over, like back and forth, and like they're on the ground, you pick them up, you
Yeah.
do it. That's how I won every fucking fight in that game.
So you're kind of
So is my
Pat
top
in that
3.
way.
I'm not farming runes, but
It's not an illegal way to play the game, everyone.
it's not.
Just to let
Mario
you know.
Kart.
You
Mario
are
Kart
allowed to
64.
farm runes.
Oh, I totally forgot. Mario Kart
you
64
are
was the
allowed
shit.
to be
right.
30 hours into the game, be level
know.
75,
You can
and still have
absolutely.
made minimal progress in the story.
oh, dude,
and
no.
now one shot your way through
I am
everything.
30 hours into that game. I beat the 2 people at Stormville Castle, and that's like the extent of what I've done in the actual proper story.
38 hours was my total playtime.
And I still play 30 hours.
Elden Ring, my total playtime somewhere in the 50s now, but like my total playtime for Dark Souls 3, which was the one I played before this, was like 36, and
Yeah,
I
you
beat
can-
that whole game.
You can beat that game comfortably in like 20 to 30 hours.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. Elden Ring, I don't see how you could beat it in
I think
30 hours.
maybe
That's a
I have
lot of
30%.
content
I think I
in a-
maybe have
in a
30%
video game.
of the map
Yeah.
like unlocked.
Look up the speed runs for.
What's
Elden
like-
they-
Elden
they've-
Ring speedruns under an hour.
They beat the record twice in one day.
Yeah.
First
Wow.
it was 3 hours, and the second one was 1 hour.
and now it's
so
like
they
48
beat the whole
minutes.
game.
Yeah, but
in
they
an
use
hour.
like skips, and they use
Yeah.
different
glitches
glitches
and
and
shit.
stuff. Like
Okay,
some guy found out that it's actually faster to pause the game and reload your save when you go to open a door instead of just opening a door, because that process is actually faster, and when you load back in, the door is already open. So, you
So
just
that's
go.
that's a big thing with like a lot of speed
that
running.
type of fucking
That's
shit.
why when you brought up GoldenEye, there's a speedrun tactic that people don't speedrun that game anymore because if the optimization is so miserable. You just look down at the floor because then it's not loading other assets, and then the frames are higher, so you move quicker.
That's funny as hell.
so
That makes perfect sense.
people are just you're running looking at the floor the entire time, and people are like, I don't want to do this.
Does it
Like,
generate enemies? Or?
it generates enemies, but it's not like because of how everything was set up back then. Because you're not like looking at it, the render like distance
Just
is so tiny. You're just
And
rendering
there's-
flat objects.
There's also
What if he
these
shoots you in the
psychos,
face?
you just
like,
run
when you
you
watch
just look up like shoot.
when you watch these speed runs, these psychos know how well they're kitted out and like how much damage they'll do against a boss.
Yeah,
because like they'll enter a boss area and they'll be like, all right, 6 hits to the left with the sword, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit him with a spell. He's down. We're going to the next. Like that type
It's
of
like a
fucking
science. They- yeah,
hyper.
they know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to clarify, this is just completing the main story. This is not like 100%ing the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, see, that's where I always got the different stuff. So there's the main storyline in games like this, and then there's the side missions
Yeah.
that probably
There
take
are-
up more time than
Yeah.
everything.
There
Bottom
else,
are-
right?
bitch, side pieces.
But yeah, see, I only know about the bottom bitch.
That's respectable. Look at you. You're
Not me.
I'm a loyal
shooting
guy.
straight. I get it.
I'm shooting.
You know what?
straight.
You know what? That Andrew Boxman, he's a good guy.
When I talk
He's a
about
straight
Andy
shooter.
Box,
He's a great guy.
My loyalties to the streets.
Listen, one is enough. All right,
He's a real
One
man.
is
gotta handle
enough.
one.
Man.
a real mensch.
he's a
Thank
real
you.
mensch.
All right. So a little bit of technology news.
What's your segue? You're not even gonna try.
Speaking of men,
We're gonna speed
Where's
run
the Paul
right
Blart
to the
segue?
next topic.
Why must everything I say to get to the next topic be under so much scrutiny?
Because I like
started
to
this.
torment you.
you started it.
This Nick does not spend
This
that much
is like
time
when I
grooming
do
the
clip
beard
of the
to have
week,
average
and
segues.
this is like when I do clip of the week, and they'll be like, or specifically him would be like, I have another one of someone getting almost murdered.
No,
if you
I
wanna
know.
watch it.
I know. Nicks are like
It's
the
just like,
most X-rated
well,
videos
what
ever.
am I
Like,
supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to be like, nah, never mind? Like,
love
of course I'm gonna say yes. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we bring chance into it. We get like a Nick's clip of the
Chance
week,
cube?
like flip coin or something.
I like that.
does
There's
Nick get to
actually-
show his clip of the
There
week?
is a subreddit. I think it's called like 50/50.
Yeah.
And it's like cute puppy or decapitation, and it's like when you click on it, like it's a 50/50
That didn't get
shot.
shut
You don't
down?
know.
No, I mean
That would be, but what if you
It's like
what
that
if you
child's
sold an
book.
NFT that was the 50/50
It's-
NFT and you don't
it's
know?
like that
actually,
child.
yeah, mystery
getting.
box.
It's like that
the
child
mystery
book
box.
where they
We're gonna go into business. Write it down.
It's
All right,
called,
Don't you fucking steal the idea, anybody out there.
Boxofcock.com.
It's like that little.
We're gonna
kid's
sell
book.
them on, and either you get a nice picture of a rooster or the other. You don't want to say.
Cock or cock. Which
You
do
either
you
get
want?
a big rooster or a big cock
rooster.
or a big cock.
Boxocock.com is not taken either, so we can have that one.
Nice. That's a good one
Box
too.
of
I was gonna say it's like those children's books that have all the pictures of like the little animals, but it'll say shit like it's malignant or like daddy's not coming home or like
I like that.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
like the
I dropped out, like shit like that. All right.
Well, I got the results of the test back. It's cancer.
Speaking of results of tests, anyway, the M1 Mac Ultra
there you
Much better.
go.
benchmark
Thank you.
was released.
yes.
So, full disclosure, I just purchased an M1 Max, so I have the chip
Okay.
below this. That chip can read 400 gigabytes of read and write 400 gigabytes of information a second.
Stupid.
It's fucking stupid fast.
The thing
this
is, though,
one,
nothing like any internet will not
well, there's internet in other places of the world besides New Jersey that support those speeds.
that's a big that. There's
It's
there's
Starlink.
there's
But-
more than yes. I can't.
but
wait,
it's
dude.
not. It's more
think
importantly
Starlink is
though,
good.
Burke,
5 years. Wait,
Burke,
5 years.
these
It'll be good or
machines
be
though,
available in
Be
our
good
area.
and available.
these machines, and the reason why I just purchased one is because they're specifically meant for professional creatives.
Definitely.
Like
That's why I'm
these
most excited
machines
about it.
are not meant for people who are just watching porn and going on social media.
No,
You buy a
definitely.
MacBook Air.
Definitely. Until you start streaming like HD
just saying,
VR 3D
Until
porn.
you
then
are
you may do that.
producing and
Oh,
editing
bro,
your
wait.
own porn.
Have you ever seen 3D porn? I mean 3D porn, VR porn.
Do you want
I was gonna say.
Have you ever seen VR porn?
I have.
You
One
have?
of my
I was
friends
gonna say,
has like
boy,
the
do
old
I have-
PlayStation VR thing. and-
No,
Look right behind
look,
you.
Look right behind you. Look right behind you.
It's
I
your
was gonna
friend who
say,
has VR.
Boy, I was gonna say,
boxingcock.com.
do I have a fucking treat for you if you
That's
haven't
amazing.
seen VR porn?
a treat?
And then what
I
do you,
mean,
what do
it's
you
been-
do with this
it's been
apparatus?
quite
Where does this go?
It can go two ways, Nick.
That I won't. I'll give you a hint. It goes near the frenulum.
This or it's oh my god, that's horrible. No, but yeah, I mean, definitely from
They
like the
both
musical
meet near the
creative side,
frenulum.
just having that much RAM is gonna change the game because it's like like DAW processing, like when you're in Pro Tools when you're doing that, like you're maxing out at a couple hundred track count. Where now
Yeah.
with these you're gonna be able to have unlimited track count.
it's still gonna
unlimited
crash.
So
sessions.
the M1
definitely
It'll still crash.
So the
you're gonna be
M1
recording track and it's gonna.
How many more tracks do you need?
the specs from the CPU.
I need parallels, bro. I need parallel buses.
Well, when
boxes.
you're doubling up every fucking vocal line,
I know. Stack it.
Just some specs. This moves 800 gigabytes, so it's double what the Max does per second. This also has a 20-core CPU and a 64-core GPU. That is fucking wild. And this has 32 core neutral engine. I got to be completely honest. I don't know what that means. I've looked it up.
That's
I
a
can't
Star
see
Wars.
it to
It's-
find.
that is a
If,
Star
if
A
I'm not mistaken, it's
definitive- a
because
definitive answer.
it's two chips that are acting as one.
Yes.
Right. So maybe it's something that facilitates the communication between both of the chips.
Oh,
to
you
make
don't
one.
know. You're just
No, that's actually- that's-
Oh, no, I'm
speculating.
totally speculating.
That's really good
No,
speculation
good job,
based
'cause
off
you
of
had
like
me convinced.
what the actual name is. Then
Yeah,
it's kind of like a way that it's developing different connections that would make it more fast or something like
This
that.
also
yeah.
supports up to 128 gigabytes of RAM. That's fucking crazy
insane.
considering my board in there our boards
32, right?
only support up to 64.
Oh, 64.
64.
64 is still a lot of RAM.
And in my configuration in my M1 Max, I got 32 gigs of RAM.
Okay.
But it's GDDR5, so it's fast as shit even if you just get 16 gigs.
Real quick question. Are you saying Max MAX or MACS?
Max.
MACS.
Like the dog. MAX.
X.
Okay.
Not
M1
Macintosh plural.
I was thinking Max as in multiple.
Max.
No.
Max.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, no. I got either way though. Mine is the 10 core CPU. I have the 32 core GPU, and I think I think I have whatever the bottom neutral core count is or whatever the second is. Either way, mine is a beast of a machine, and this one is like this M1 Ultra chip is fucking outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
it's got
guys
shit
seen
on
the
it.
way that they build the chips like at all? So it's like you can go on Apple's website and take a look at it, but it's like first they have the M1, it's a little square chip. It looks like any other like Ryzen or Intel processor. Yeah. And then they show the M1 Max, and it's two of them next to each other. And then it's the M1 Ultra, and now it's vertical and a little bit fatter.
it's vertical and
you know
fatter,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Tim Cook's having a field day. Oh, you make it a little fatter for me.
Tim Apple.
Thicken that bitch up for me, Tim Apple.
Thicken it up. I like them thick.
I would have
He's
loved
in his
it.
office just like,
I would have
thick.
I would have loved it.
I love the idea of him.
Dude, if he's happy, he's singing.
Listening to trap, dancing like. What
Have you ever seen the original like
Tim Apple does not dance to
Microsoft
trap.
keynote?
The original
twerks to
Windows
rock and
key-
roll.
Yeah.
And they're all just like,
Pull
So-
up the original Windows keynote.
Before we move on from this, well, hold on, because I got one more thing to get to, and then we got to get to him.
God.
So the one thing I do want to mention that's important to remember is that Apple had a huge problem with thermals for the last 10 years. It wasn't until 2019 that they decided to shift from a 15.6 inch, laptop size to a 16-inch size. 16.2, I believe, is the exact measurement. Either way, that mitigated all the thermal throttling they had, and these machines became fucking powerhouses overnight. Like everyone immediately was like, I fucking need one of these now. Then they added their own silicone, but most importantly, they took their 13-inch, which was a dedicated size because this is 2013, this is 13-inch. That is a 2017 I have over there. Which one's this one?
20, the newest one.
Is this an M1?
No.
Oh, it's an Intel?
Intel.
Either way, it's 13 though, right?
13-inch, yeah. The
And
Pro.
then if you look behind you, there's my old motherfucker from 2011 that I used in college.
shit.
That
thick.
thick one.
Fat boy.
Yeah. That is also a 13. They have bumped up to 14 because they also mitigates thermal throttling. The difference is that if you spec the machines out the same, the 16-inch, it's negligible depending on what you're doing and how hard you're pushing it. The 16 is going to get better performance because you have more room to work with.
dissipating it, yeah.
You're dissipating the heat better. That was something I didn't think about when I made my order. Everyone always talked about to me to performance and the size. Is it going to fit on your desk? Is it this? It's that. It's going to be a fucking monster. I had an M1 when they first came out. My job when I was working at a different place, and it was an absolute like powerhouse. I never heard the fans. It never got hot. It was absolutely amazing, right? I only thought about the size. The size, like, what if I need to put in a backpack and everything, right?
Size matters.
Yes, it does. It really does. But it's also only 2 more inches.
Oh, no, I do have the M1 in this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Have you ever hear the fucking fan
No,
spin on it?
this is my old machine. Used to get hot as shit. This one like does not.
Yeah.
At all.
It's amazing how crazy they are. Either way, though, my point is that the 16 is always going to give you more performance, just based on the thermals of it. And that's what I didn't realize until after I made my order, and then I had one regret that I should have got the 16.
It's fine.
Either way, it's going to be a fucking monster because I've used a 13. The other thing I really like is that they decided to thicken them up, the Pros, so they have more ports on the side. like HDMI, a bunch of USB and Thunderbolt ports.
Yeah, they
a bunch
actually
of new
finally
stuff.
put them back.
Yeah,
this one literally just has two of the USB-Cs.
Yeah.
So
That's
then
it.
So
you
does
have to
mine.
spend $70,000 on the extensions,
On the
and
dongles.
adapters.
Well,
You just
So
spend
that one-
$15 on
the
Amazon. Do
dongles.
not get an
$15
Apple.
on the
So
dongles.
that one over there though, that MacBook is
Ethernet
the
cable.
exact same dimensions, like chassis size, as the 14-inch that I just ordered. So they went to their
taking a
old
step back.
design and just put their new chips in it, and it made it 1,000 times
Well,
better.
yeah,
I
because
think everybody hated when they switched over.
the model I had before this, which was I think the 2017 version or whatever, keyboard was absolute shit. It had the touch bar.
I hate the touch bar.
the touch. This one still has the touch bar, but they've like you have an escape button, you have a power button now.
Okay, got you.
So you
yeah,
have
but they've
this-
also,
And they have ones that just have the function keys now, so you don't even have to get
but
the touch bar.
they've also, yeah, there is no touch bar in the one I ordered.
Yeah.
But there is no, it's because Apple, listen, when Tim Apple moved over into CEO, he was head of operations.
When he moved over, he really cranked
moved
the
over.
capitalism up to 10.
He really did. Because, like, all of the shit that the laptops can do 3 years from now, they can do right now. It's
of course,
just
yeah.
they have to sell you on a new feature.
Totally. They got
And
to roll it out.
being
slow.
a
They can't fuck up the
sustainability
market.
operations guy, he spread that shit out. And it worked for a while.
Tim Apple's just spreading it.
It worked. It worked for a while, but they had to innovate again. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that
yeah.
they're innovating because, like, dude, they stole the phone market. Like, it's over on phones.
Oh,
like,
totally,
it's
yeah.
iPhone. It's.
I mean, I literally switched. I had an iPhone until around the era that Tim Cook took over, and that's when I switched over to the Google Pixel,
Yeah.
just because I was so tired of having to get proprietary everything and taking away the headphone port, and like it was always backwards for the consumer and always good for their
Forward
bottom
for
line.
more
Right.
selling. Yeah.
So, either way though, it's just like that. They started to slump, and like the laptops took a hit. Like, business professionals weren't using them.
And the stands for the monitors cost $1,500.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, there's like a cable that you get with one machine that like you get it for free with the machine, but it's $140 to replace it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, I understand the whole battery controversy because I work in technology. Like, of course, when they update your software, your hardware is going to work harder. So they program the battery to use more juice. So the software stays quick and fast. So this way you don't lose any experience on your phone.
Oh, but
the
your
problem
just getting
battery.
drained.
exactly. But the
Okay.
problem was they told nobody that,
Gotcha.
and they charged you $80 to replace a battery. Which now it's it's only $30 to replace it. But like that was my biggest criticism of them in
Then
that
on
area.
top of that,
Definitely,
they make it so you're not allowed to repair. And that's why I think there's like the huge conversation going on around right to repair.
Right to
And
repair,
Right.
I think if they were smart, they would just get on board with that and allow it so people aren't going to avoid their warranties by,
I
like
think eventually there'll be some model.
Well, it's really interesting too.
making it
because
modular. Would
To be
the
fair,
smart
to be
move.
to be completely fair though, when we talk
to
about
show
making
you.
things modular and we talk about like right to repair and avoiding warranties, I think it's really important to point out specifically in Apple's case that the architecture of their products is why they perform so well. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think so.
they have an in-home
Explain.
software and hardware that has a perfect synergy. And that's why you have some computers who, like, even though they have the best parts from 10 different fucking brands
Yeah, yeah.
and they'll all work together, you're not going to get the same performance that if you just get everything under one house.
Bro, it's like
You know
a
what I'm
fucking
saying?
sports team. You can go and you can buy all this talent, right? You can go try to put them together, but if they don't got, if they're not gelling together, they're not going to win any championships. But if you foster them, you build them up through your program,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
But I can still play CSGO on, high. So, it's... So it's not like I'm hurting. But
I'm not hurting.
I was gonna say
no, it
that
makes
was
sense,
that was
totally.
like my entire thing with it. People buy Macs and Apple products because it is a cohesive ecosystem.
Yes.
And you literally want it to be the most plug and play element possible.
Yeah.
Like that's why you get this.
For sure.
And I think it'll be really interesting to see kind of like how everything moves forward with like right to repair, if they're going to kind of move in the shift that, like more PC markets are, as opposed to being like, we're just being consumer forward and then actually how that's going to affect business and actual like enterprise. Like
I would fucking love if they made a gaming machine.
I wouldn't. Like that's the thing. It's just like I can make a gaming laptop that will be 50 times better than anything that Apple will put out. No. Like
call him out because if he calls him out, maybe they'll actually make
I
it.
just want you to hedge your bets, buddy.
All right, Tim Apple, you listening?
Right now,
Tim.
Here's the thing. Right now, they would have to make a completely different model. It would be like they could not take anything they're currently doing aside from like chipsets.
You'd also
and shit
have
like
to
that.
have the gaming industry support Mac OS.
That's the thing, and that's not going to happen for a while.
Totally.
But what I was gonna say was, as far as gaming laptops go, when you go system to system, you have a mid tower, you have an exhaust fan, that kind of standardizes things. So when you do a benchmark, you kind of have a good idea of what you're working with. Laptops are that is a dice roll. If you're going for a gaming laptop, it doesn't matter if it has a 3080, an i9, the nicest RAM possible. It could run worse than a laptop that's got like a worse processor and a 3070 in it, so you won't get that performance because of the way it's configured. So if you find a gaming laptop you like, you Google the shit out of it before. Well, that's the thing, before you buy it.
You have all of the.
It can't just do it based off specs alone.
No, because you have all of the like laptop versions of that. Like you cannot fit a graphics card that would go in a tower.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, definitely. So, and that's the other thing that Mac has in the laptop department, or Apple has in the laptop department over PC in general, is consistency across the board, where like you can have 7 different Lenovo's and they will all perform differently. Where if you have,
you don't know about Lenovo, that's actually their catchphrase.
You don't know shit. If you have an M1, the Pro, the Max, or the Ultra, whatever line that you have it in, whatever speed it's rated for, it's gonna fucking work that way every time.
Definitely.
That's a good point. Like they don't white label their shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's like this is what you're paying a premium, but this is what you're getting in the box, and ultimately that's why I took the dive. So I hope to see what happens. All right, so we got to wrap this one up real quick. So speaking of taking a dive, Aquaman and the Flash got its fucking release dates moved.
Saw that.
I was confused because I thought we were going over to talk about Box. I was like, well, that's fucked up.
And we're all out of time.
We're all out of time.
No, so I just wanted to include this in, like I said, movie news. The first thing is that
it's a superhero shakeup as activists do.
I thought that was a drop.
It's a video.
It is now.
It's a superhero.
Wait, now.
Save this because we need that as a drop.
I have it.
Shakeup.
It's Laren.com, I think it's called. That's where I am right now. So the title of the article is very straightforward. Warner Bros. Pushes back these superhero movies. Check out new release date. Got it. And then it doesn't give us that information. Oh, no, it does. It does a read more. All right. So pretty much, I think in the wake of the Batman, Warner Brothers saw how the year they could have. And they're like, you know what? We should take 2 of these and we should put these into next year, because these, like, now that these are director focused films and they're not a part of, they're not filmed by committee, I think Warner Brothers has a little bit more faith.
Saying Aquaman and the Flash are director driven?
Yeah, dude. James Wan and Andy Muschietti.
James Wan is doing what, Aquaman?
Yeah, he did both of them.
Yeah. Really? Oh,
yeah.
That's dope. I didn't even know that. James Wan's the man. He did Saw. He did like a bunch of.
He just did Malignant too.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't really like Malignant. It was a little boring.
Did you see the fucking?
Did you see her throw that chair at that guy?
Yeah. Did you see?
That was first scene was the best part of the movie when they're in the psych ward and
the
then
cop scene where she was killing everybody.
Okay,
that
actually,
was the
you're
best
right.
scene.
You're right.
And that's
There's-
pretty much
yeah,
all.
there's-
Overall, bad
What's
movie.
cool about that scene?
Overall.
If you watched Malignant's police station scene, there's a scene exactly like that in the first Aquaman in the first 10 minutes of the movie with Nicole Kidman and a trident. It's like shot the same.
Actually, that's funny as hell.
Aquaman was his template for that, for what would be that scene in Malignant. Aquaman did that.
I'm just.
I'm gonna say it again.
I'm so
Aquaman.
I'm so jaded from everything that's like in the existing DCEU. I'm just like, throw it, like get it out of the way, and let's start fresh.
I like the first Aquaman. It's not.
Me too.
It's not a fucking.
I thought that was like the best
I'm
DC
not like,
movie.
oh my god, it's the Batman, but like it's good.
It's tainted by the stink of Ben Affleck, and I just want to move on.
Ben Affleck's not even in it.
But
He's not
he
the first
exists in the same universe, so it's part. They're connected.
I don't hate this take.
Wonder Woman. You
didn't like
the first
Batfleck?
one was good. The second one was bad. Ben Affleck, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
I want to know how Ben Affleck
All right, it's not his fault.
It's not directly his fault.
It's Snyder's fault, and it's
Snyder.
and it's Joss
Jeff
Whedon's
Johns' fault.
Yeah. Anything that has to do with any of those interconnected movies, I'm done with. I don't want any more of them.
I love
Well,
your
good
like
thing,
growing
too.
blacklist of like,
Yeah.
So either way, they saw how the Batman performed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they had 4 monster movies coming out this year. The next one after this was supposed to be Black Adam. That was going to be in July. That got moved to October 21st of this year.
Okay.
Aquaman got bumped from December, and that's going to March. And then The Flash is going to June of 2023. So
they really are hoping that Aquaman is going to do what the Batman did.
well, they're dropping a big movie. One this was spring. Now they have the Pets movie, the Super Pets movie with The Rock, Keanu Reeves, Kevin Hart. Like that's gonna make fucking
That's
bank.
actually pretty
Well,
dope.
that's
They
their,
made that movie for like what, $80 million. That movie's gonna make,
And all of it
it's
was
gonna
just based
print
on
money.
the cast.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
right,
That's what we keep.
Keanu Reeves is fucking Batman.
We keep talking about where it's like they can't get women and children back into movie theaters, so it's like they're pushing
Yeah.
for that shit.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
hardcore kids movie.
Yeah.
Right?
So they have just opened up that lane, especially because Disney just keeps putting their fucking kids movies on Disney Plus.
You're
Like,
right,
but there's
yeah.
a brand new Pixar movie that came out this weekend. They just put it on streaming. It's like, what the fuck? Pixar movies are amazing. Put those in theaters. That's
Yeah.
where I want to watch them.
You're right. You're
I
right.
want to go at 9:00 when there's no fucking kids around. Like that's when
Wanna
I see
hear
my
all
Pixar.
all the music and
Is
everything.
it,
exactly.
is it in theater at all, or is it just
No, it just went straight to streaming.
And they were
Wow.
pissed. The creators were pissed about it too.
yeah, they've
I
been
would be
pissed
too.
about it.
Like,
Yeah. Crazy.
Either way, though, the Super Pets movie is where Black Adam used to be. Black Adam got moved to where Flash was. Aquaman got moved to spring, and then their summer is going to be Flash, and they'll have a couple more. They'll have other
And
Warner
you
Brothers
think that
feats.
they're shooting some more cameos?
100%.
Yeah.
I think that I think that movie was. It's a blessing that this is getting moved because they were like, we'll just go wait till Doctor Strange comes out and we'll see what we can do. Like I'm
I think
100% certain.
It could be a 50-50 here, like just like that subreddit.
What, the Flashpoint movie?
The Flashpoint, they might make some good choices, or they could really bog it down and
Well,
trying to compete with all the
like I
multiverse
said,
stuff that MCU
it's Andy Muschietti, and he made the 2 It movies. And what did he make before? He made Lights Out before that. All really good
Okay,
movies.
yeah.
So that's the one with at first it was a short film on YouTube where if he turned the light on, the monster goes away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then if you turn it off, it's there.
They're
type
really
of
going
thing.
hard into these horror directors.
Yeah, I mean Scott Derrickson was a horror director, and then he directed Doctor Strange. So it makes sense. These guys are eager, they're hungry, they want to, they want to rise to the ranks, and horror is a good entry
Wow,
point.
actually, you got Andy Muschietti. Mm-hmm. Who's the other guy you just mentioned?
Scott Derrickson, Sam Raimi,
and James Wan. Mm-hmm. They're all horror guys.
Well, James Wan also did Fast and Furious as
Yeah,
well.
I-
So
Yeah.
he did that
Yeah,
first.
but he's
And it's
also
also the highest grossing Fast and Furious movie. So it's
Didn't
not
he-
like
Yeah, it
it's,
made $10 billion
Yeah.
in China. Everybody sees that movie. It's crazy. Yeah.
John.
and Pitbull made so much goddamn money off that soundtrack.
Did James Wan? He did all the all the horror movies where there's like a ghost world. What's the?
Insidious.
Insidious,
Thank
right?
you.
Oh, those were
Thank you.
good.
I had a little.
I love those.
there.
Yeah.
Those were good, especially the one scene when they're in the dream and like the demon's playing the piano and he'd like cross down and say,
Or how about the piano just plays itself and you can't figure out why, and it's not until the fucking second movie that you find out that it's actually Patrick Wilson's character.
Oh, 'cause he's
in the
stuck
dream
in-
world.
oh, yeah, you're
being
right,
like,
you're right.
help! Like trying to play the song he wrote her. You know what I mean? And the only way she finds out that it's not really him is he goes to play the song and he fucks it up, and that's when he's like, "Oh shit, you're possessed."
oh no,
oh shit, you suck at the piano. Get the fuck out of here.
You can't
are
be
you?
you.
Here's these dice. Anyway,
I need to rewatch those.
yeah.
Welcome to the Conjuring.
So yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
all those movies got moved. I mean, we're still gonna get them. I just wish I thought I was gonna get 3 Batman in 1 year, and now I'm not.
I know, bud.
Wait, but you think that Batman will be in these other movies?
He is.
Oh, he is.
There's
Okay.
2 Batmen in the Flash movie. Ben Affleck's Bat movie. Batman is in one
no.
reality.
They're gonna fuck that whole
and
thing
Michael
up.
Keaton's Batman is in the other.
Keaton?
Keaton came
Yeah.
back in the suit
Keaton?
and everything, and he's gonna be Batman in the HBO Max Batgirl movie that they've already done. Like, is almost done shooting.
Wow, bringing back Keaton.
Yeah.
Okay.
They saw
I really like Michael
Marvel's
Keaton. He's
doing,
the
and they're
man,
like,
so.
we need to bring in the big guns.
Definitely. I wonder if there'll be any Birdman jokes.
I
in
really do love how there's a
Well, he's a
second.
vulture, so
I really do
Yeah.
love how there is a
there. You're
second.
right, he was the Vulture.
There's a second comic book movie like studio in town that is just tripping over coffee table after coffee table.
It was like when Pat blew the power.
just like trying to get one up, and like the Batman happens and people are like, man, the Batman was better than anything that the MCU has. One, that's a little I don't know about that. And 2, we've done 30 movies like this though. You know,
It
that
might be
even
the
though if you
stronger
don't like them,
standalone.
even if you don't like them, you know what I mean? They all are at the very least watchable. You know what I mean?
For sure,
They
for
all
sure.
they all review well, besides for Eternals, and they all make
Yeah, that was.
they all make billions of dollars. Okay,
It's also like a cinematic. I was gonna say this. I don't want. No pun intended.
Go ahead.
It's a cinematic marvel that they were able to pull off. Like this is a feat. I didn't do it on purpose, Mike.
I know.
It's
was so
a
disappointed.
cinematic feat that they were able to continue to hit home run after
home run after and
Definitely.
know what the audience is looking for, and the critics each and every time, and it's just
Except
it's
for
like
the Eternals.
except for the Eternals.
To be fair, they got to write that entire path of that. Like, they influenced what the audience wants. They influenced what the critics want. So they were able to just keep doing what they were doing.
I mean,
You're right,
yeah,
'cause
don't
they
get me wrong.
created
It was an
the-
inside
Well, the other
job.
thing is
Formulas
that
of it.
Kevin Feige was a producer on the first 2 X-Men movies, the first 2 Spider-Man movies. So he really like kind of beat Hollywood up to like set us up for this cinematic universe and really like grow it over time and everything. Cause like, I watched a video recently that said the Batman should have been the Batman movie we got 10 years ago. And I said, in no fucking way could you put this Batman movie out 10 years ago
it would have
and have it be
No
as
way.
well received. You have to have a fucking audience that is well versed in the comic books now, that is well versed in these characters, that has openly expressed that we are tired of seeing their origins on screen.
And to
Well,
be able
what
to sit
was-
in the theater
yeah.
for that long.
yes.
Definitely, yeah. Because when were you sitting in a 3-hour movie?
Repeat
Wasn't
business.
happening.
I'm not the only guy that saw it 3 times that weekend.
No,
you know,
when I went to go see it, when me and my girl went to go see it, there was a guy sitting next to us, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my 4th time seeing it. I love it." And we saw it on the Friday, the day that it came out, and he was like, "I've already seen it 4 times." I was
That's
like,
it.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
that
impossible.
that was bad. But yeah, here's what came out in 2012. 2012, we had the Avengers come out. You had the Amazing Spider-Man come
Dark
out.
Knight
You had Dark
Rises.
Knight Rises come out.
that's it.
So if you think about those type of movies, those other it was incorrect, but if you think about those type of movies, what they look like, how they are, like Avengers, like not campy now, but kind of like, you know, it seems a little bit campy now
For sure,
because
for sure.
of wherever, you know what I'm trying to say, where
Yeah, no.
everything is at that
I mean,
point.
listen,
Yeah.
well, we're going to jump off this topic because I want
Yes.
to talk about you. But just put it like this. They put out 2 DC movies, both starting with the, and the audience wasn't like, why the fuck do they call them that? I thought it was just
It's like
the
Facebook.
audience knows the nuance of the take on. When you say the Batman,
yeah.
that means you're immediately referring to early canon Batman because he was still Legend of the Night. Not a lot of people even thought he was real, like
sure,
in
for sure.
Gotham,
Well,
Gotham
It
lore.
also
totally,
has to
yeah,
do with
yeah.
As it went on,
differentiating
though,
He-
shorthand.
He
you know,
became just Batman.
he just
It's
came
not
Batman.
the
Yeah.
Batman.
Like Batman doesn't call the Joker the Joker. He just starts calling him Joker after a while. You know,
definitely.
that's what I'm
Makes sense.
saying.
Yeah.
But also, they have to differentiate.
A very good
it,
point.
Like just in the box office, you can't just call it Batman.
You could,
Yeah.
you absolutely could have just called this movie Batman.
You could-
110%.
You could
It's
have,
like
but to
Suicide
make-
Squad and
Yes.
the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but the difference is the Suicide Squad was a joke from James Gunn, and the studio was like, cool. Whereas the Batman is established lore. Like every writer that has written on Batman, when it's early days Batman,
You're
it's
agreeing
the
with Nick,
Batman.
though.
Why is Man of Steel called Man of Steel?
Because
instead of
Zack Snyder
Superman?
is a fucking idiot.
Because there was already Superman, and they needed to call it something.
yeah,
No,
No,
they're
Nick's
also trying to
absolutely
riff
right.
on the Dark Knight, though.
Right,
that was
but
the whole thing. Let's
Nick-
not name
Got
it
you.
that,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
like
let's
let's
call it
make
something.
it dark
Well,
and
yeah.
like
Dark Knight was Dark Knight
Yes.
because of.
But the first
Batman.
one was called Batman is in the title.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
But it should have been The Batman Begins.
Should have
It
been.
could have been.
Given the whole
I
context.
also don't think that the Batman as a title and this direction of the character would exist without the Nolan films.
Oh, no, without a doubt.
I
Definitely.
rewatched The Dark Knight this week, and it's
The Dark Knight.
It's literally let's take a superhero and just drop him in the real world. That's what that
Yeah,
movie is.
straight
Whereas the Batman is like, let's build a whole fucking world around the hero instead.
Very
It's
true.
interesting
Very
too.
true.
Like after the Batman, like you said the other day, it is a little bit more heightened with like the tram cars and everything, and Ra's al Ghul, like all that stuff. That is a little bit more Gotham rather
With Batman
than
Begins.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I feel like if you were to put the two of the best Batman movies ever up against each other, The Dark Knight and The Batman, after rewatching The Dark Knight, I think that the Batman has a better Gotham, like for sure. Like, but Christopher Nolan's take is specifically what's it like if we just took Batman and dragged him into the real world.
Yeah,
for
That's
sure.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
That's the idea. But Batman Begins, that wasn't the idea. The idea was let's make it takes place in Gotham and it's really grimy and dirty and the second one's really more on the characters as opposed to the world.
Makes
you know?
sense. Yeah,
So
definitely.
either way though, that's my spiel on Batman. So all right, everyone. If you're listening to this, our normal show is over. Shit's about to get real though. This
But
is
don't
about to
go
be
nowhere.
The fucking
Don't touch that dial.
true Hollywood story
The True Miami story.
of Andy Boxcox.
No, Hollywood, Florida.
Hollywood, exactly. Hollywood, Florida. Shout out.
And you can find it at my new website, boxocox.com.
boxocox.com.
So here to promote.
We are going to be auctioning off NFTs as
Just
Big
it's
roosters.
just NFTs of roosters.
We're gonna be auctioning. We're gonna be auctioning them off to ourselves first, and then we're gonna be auctioning off to you suckers later
just
on.
don't screenshot them, please.
Please. And you should invest in this coin that nobody here is has a
Fox
fiduciary
coin?
responsibility to bring up.
It's called Cox Coin.
A Cox coin
Probably already is.
mascot
There's
is just
definitely a Cox
a
Coin.
little frenulum
Nicholas.
It's
and a mushroom top.
A little
Anyway,
frenulum.
anyway, so
That's great.
Andrew,
Please don't call me that.
I don't think I've ever called you that.
No.
So for the folks at home who are listening and watching, why don't you explain to everybody who you are and what you do and how everybody in this room knows who you are?
Well, I'm Andy Boxman, as he just called me Andrew. I'm a musician, artist, producer, engineer, writer, do just about everything in the music field. And I met these gentlemen at Monmouth. You guys know that. And, definitely.
Do we know that?
I met Boxman in jail.
Yeah, I make
In both
records.
places,
That's what I do.
It was crazy. This crazy backwards bitch came to life and she just cut up all the cops and we ran out of there.
It was malignant.
Walked up to Nick and I
Holy
was like,
shit.
get in the bunk. Get in the bunk.
So,
I make records, all right?
yes,
I'm just like everybody else, all right? I get up every day, I put my pants on.
a regular old Joe Rapola.
Except when I do it, I make hit records.
Except these pants are filled with the hits.
But what have you worked on recently?
I
though?
need more cowbell. So I have a project, a song that I just released, but so it's called Rougher Side of Love that I put out last Friday, and that was my first artist project that I put out in years. So that's something that I've been working on for years. Because when I moved down to Miami, I kind of stopped doing the artist thing, and I just built up a catalog of 300.
Well,
records.
that's what I was gonna say. I know you. You didn't just record one
no,
song.
I have 300 songs done. Just
That's fucking
waiting-
wild.
waiting to come
It's
out.
like
So it's
I've
gonna
had
be a
these
double
8.
album.
it's just say it's gonna be like a fucking.
So what
They're all
I've been doing.
NFTs.
13.
So
They're all
this is the
NFTs.
difference between me and you is I've been walking around with the last 8 for a year on my phone through I've set record next to my amp and recorded the riffs that I
Hell
came
yeah,
up
hell
and was
yeah.
like, here it is, here's my writing, and this guy has an entire career's worth of music already.
This is why
Yeah,
he's
it's coming,
making
it's coming.
money off of it.
this is why he does what he does.
And this is why we're here.
Yeah, this is why he's in that seat. Yeah.
But yeah, that, and so the last like 2 or 3 years, I've been working with Flo Rida a lot. I engineered his last 2 singles that came out, and I have a song that I produced with him and Shaggy and the reggae band Inner Circle that's going to be coming out in the summertime. So getting the gears
Song
ready
of the
for
summer?
that.
Yeah, you trying to get song of the summer?
It's going to be the fucking reggae song of the summer.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, I know so.
Shaggy's comeback,
You
right?
know
When's the
what,
last thing that Shaggy did?
Shaggy did a reggae album with Sting about 2 years ago that won like a few Grammys.
Oh,
Like,
that's right.
yeah. But like as far as like
regular Ewan
mainstream
McGregor.
crossover, he hasn't had anything like, I would say mainstream probably in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Flo hasn't had anything really in the mainstream since My House, so that was like 6 years ago now. And yeah, so it'll be nice. I think it'll be really familiar. People know them, people know their voices. They haven't really heard from them in a while, and the songs have fucking smashed. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
How'd you get connected with that whole scene?
Well, you want the short of it or you want the long of it?
We brought you here to talk.
you want the
Box
long of
Cox,
it?
give us
Yeah,
the long.
I'm giving you a platform,
You
bro.
want the long box of cocks? No, well, so I guess I moved down to Miami in 2016. We had an opportunity. It was like this production company that I met these dudes with, and we started this company. We're making records, and we moved down to Miami. Well, first we moved down to Fort Lauderdale, spent like 30 grand, built a studio in the house, and we were going to do the thing. We had a deal where it was like we were going to get $1.5 million if we delivered these 50 records. And it was
Oh,
like
I
we had
remember
everything
that. I
ready to
remember
go.
this now.
And then the dude who was he was like the drummer. He was like the quote unquote leader of the whole group. He basically like lost the relationship with the guy from Warner and like just kind of fucked it up. So then we were kind of like left with like, oh, okay, well now we have the studio and this debt. Well, what are we going to do? Okay, let's start a band. So we just would start gigging around, and we were actually doing pretty good. Like we were gigging at places like Blue Martini and a bunch of cigar bars, and we would go up to Daytona and Orlando. Basically, we were paying our bills as like a cover band.
Okay.
And it was
You were vocalist at this?
I was vocalist. I was young Steve Perry.
Could you guys
So-
imagine Box just ripping "Sweet Child of Mine"?
Oh, it happened many times, and I would do now and then when I see your face.
There you go.
And they fucking loved it. It was great. No, so that, and then it was doing gigs like that we met a bunch of other artists. One of them being this female artist named LV, who she got signed to Flo Rida, and then when she got signed, because we did a couple records with her, she brought me in as a writer and as a producer.
Oh, nice.
And then the first day that I'm in a session with her, this bald older gentleman walks in the room. And he's sitting down. And turns out to be P-Doc's Jose, he's a well-known producer down in Miami. Now he's my boy. He's my production partner. Literally that day, me and him, we just fucking clicked, and literally since that day, he fucking called me back. And since he's been my boy, all my 300 records I did with him, the records that I did with Flo, me and him did. And shit. So yeah, it was like LV had introduced me to them, and then once I got in with their camp, I was like, I'm gonna just come here every fucking day. And they have an amazing studio facility. It's like 5 rooms, a whole gym, a whole graphics department. It's like a whole block in Hialeah, which is like West Miami.
That is that's fucking wild, especially for your age too. You know what I mean? To be in that position and to be writing on records that are that big and working in the studio every day. And we were actually talking about the other day. We were like, if there was anybody who was gonna make it, of
It
course,
was Mike Burke.
Of course,
Like Merc.
of course, it was gonna be Box. And we started talking about it. We were like,
I want to know the reasons.
well, that's what I'm gonna say. Is that
We'll let him jerk you off here.
it's very well? We talked about it. We were
This
like,
is our Box
talk
O'Cock.
about Sony. Talk about somebody who knows how to sell themselves better than Box. That is more charismatic than Box. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
That's what we were talking
You got to
about.
baffle him with bullshit.
But then
That's
also
something my
Joe
parents taught me at a
Enright
young
is
age.
signed, and you're just like, what happened? Like, it's just
Joe's a beast. The first time that I ever heard Joe play drums, I was like, that dude got it. I was like, that dude fucking got it.
what are you
doing? What you doing?
What are you doing?
Keep
This
talking,
is
keep talking.
we talked about this.
But yeah, it was at such a transitional phase when I got brought into like the Flow camp, because it was like the situation with my band members it got really sour to the point where like I had to move out of the house, and I was the one, I took on all of the debt because I was the only one that had good credit. So I had like 20 grand in debt when I left them and everything, and it was really like an uphill battle. It was like I didn't know where I was going.
Right.
And that was like the beginning. That was like 2018.
So that was like you were pretty much like, fuck, I have a lot of debt. I need to fix this.
And I got to fix this now. And God was like, I got you.
Buddy, I got you.
And it was like, I got in with PDocs. And then it was like, from there, it was like, I was at this, like, I went there every day for months. I would sneak into the room and I would leave the door a little cracked, and I would work on records and I would just leave it cracked. And then I would just wait to see who would come by. And probably about 2 months in, one day, Flo's nephew, Coley, everybody who doesn't know Flo meets Coley and thinks that he's Flo, because he's got this great personality. He's so friendly. He's, like, you meet him and you're like,
Flo's not friendly. You're
Flow's
saying
friendly,
that on
but
record
Flo's
right now.
really Flo's really quiet. Flo's more introverted. So like super humble. So like he's not the kind of person that's like super flashy and all that. He's like, if you go to the club, he's sitting down, and and everybody else around him is pouring bottles. And
that's kind of like me. When we go to the club, I kind of sit down. Everybody else kind of goes.
Everyone else goes crazy.
That's why I always
because
say
he just getting the lap dance.
quiet
That's
and
why.
humble.
Yep. I sit
Quiet,
there,
humble in the club.
I sit there with my cane.
You can find me in the club. Batman on the dove. It's perfect.
So I have a video here if you want to watch it right now. You might remember this from a while ago.
Where the fuck did you pull this from?
You put it on YouTube. So
Love music. It's been something that's been part of my life forever.
Oh my God, look at that.
I remember from a very young age just sitting by a piano, playing, think that I was playing.
Still piano shot.
I remember sitting at my piano,
like playing
the things I would play.
That's very
Here
Ian
at
of
Monmouth,
you.
I'm a music industry major.
What was my beard? What was I thinking?
Bachelor of Arts in Music with a concentration
Doing the best you
in
could.
music industry.
Look at that. Oh my God. The
Dude,
DBX console.
but the wild part is, like, I'm looking at this now and it's like, who else was just using the studio to make songs at Monmouth? No, remember?
Nobody else knew how to fucking engineer the shit. Remember, I planned 2 different sessions. I brought all these fuckers in to show them how to use the studio.
Here is what I think is the biggest mistake. Here's what I think.
You two actually did. Yeah.
Here's what I think.
Trouble
You're
on the high seas
engineers.
is
You
still
understand
sitting on that computer.
sound.
The biggest mistake of young musicians, and you'll be able to speak to this more than anyone else in this room, I think, is that if you're not focusing on learning the software and how to be in a studio environment, as well as learning how to play your instrument and gig, you are missing the boat on music in 2022.
Definitely, like, especially if you want to do it, if this is your career, if this is what you want to do, if this is your passion, you got to learn production. Just learn.
And
It's not rocket science.
I don't think there's anybody else.
science.
There's no recorded evidence of anybody else being in that studio making a song besides for what I'm looking at right now.
That's part of it
And
too. Hold
definitely
on,
getting good experience here.
Except look how loud the waveforms were that I was tracking. Everything was clipping.
didn't have any
You didn't even
compression.
need
like-
100 tracks back
there was
then.
no preamp or compressor. It was the blue bottle mic going directly into the Motu.
Yes, yes.
That was it.
And I would just join in on the side.
What is that?
We would just be passing
Oh, it was you. It's
just
you,
a VO
you
of you.
freestyling.
nonstop.
Check out these shit monitors.
BX8s. I actually put this out thinking that it would help my.
How many views we
It
got on this?
didn't.
I think
I think
there's
15.
like 29, if I'm honest. Oh no, 153. Not
Oh
bad.
shit!
That's
There you
more than
go.
most episodes of this show.
Yeah.
The TMA logo.
Also, the filing cabinet
Actually,
next to the
Nick-
fucking piano.
Nick made the
Back
right. I
before
know.
really knew how to use Illustrator.
Please shut the window when you leave the room.
Hey, Dr. Cameron.
Oh, shout
no,
out
Dan.
Dr. Cameron Slim. Look at the jacket. You want to know? All right. You want to know the story about that jacket?
Yes.
Yes.
I was doing an internship with Elena Bendy, who was also a Monmouth University grad. Shout out Elena Bendy. She was cool. She brought me to this event. I met Katherine Heigl, who was super cool. Smoked a vape with her, and I'm on my way home, and I fell asleep on the train back to Long Branch. And this random dude, wakes me up. He's like, "Yo, you an artist?" And I'm like, half asleep. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Oh, let me hear you rap." And I was like, all right. So I rap for him. He's like, "Yo, my name is Paul, blah, blah, blah."
Did
He's
you
like,
wake
"Yo,
up
you dope."
after this happened? Is that what we're getting to?
No. I woke- and then
how did this
bro,
guy like?
this dude
Are you an
gave-
artist and do you rap?
I was like,
and you're in the right place in the right time.
I'm on the train back to Long Branch.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
But go on.
And then so I'm like talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, bro," he's like, "I think this jacket would look really good on you." And he takes the jacket off and he just gives me the jacket, and I was like, "Okay, thanks." And then we're getting off the train. He's like, "Hey, bro, I got a studio over at Long Branch. Why don't you come by? We're gonna make some records." And I'm like, "I'm gonna go back to Monmouth because I feel like you're gonna murder me right now." So I did. I left. I had the jacket. all sparkly. I actually still have it at my house in fucking Jersey.
You're gonna murder me, and you're gonna.
No, he
take
was
back
100%
jacket and say I tried to steal it
was
from
like
you.
a marker. Like that jacket was probably a marker that if I was walking down the street in like Long Branch, they probably had a car that was looking for somebody with that jacket on, and I would have got mugged, robbed. They would have took all my shit, like the the $3.37.
He's like, you're an artist, right? What computer do you have? What software do you got? Instruments? Like,
Instruments? What you got on you?
Do you remember the God, what were they called? The cafeteria.
The
Dining
Alamark
hall,
guys?
the dining
the
hall
fucking
one.
diner guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out
Remember?
Black, shout out Corey.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you do remember. Do you remember
of
when
course.
they came through, when they were sitting in our living room one night, and I came out with my bass on my back going to practice, and that one guy was just like, "You play bass," like really loud. I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, that is some hard body karate." Like that. And I was like, "All right, dope." And I was like, "I'll see you later."
Some hard body karate.
Some hard body karate.
Our dorm, we were right across from the dining hall, and we
Yeah.
were boys with them.
Dude,
so they
I'm
would come
talking
over
like
and smoke with us.
you could open our front door and see
Throw
the
a rock
front
at
door
the dining
of the
hall,
dining
yeah.
hall.
Yeah, yeah.
Our apartment was right next to where they kept the artists for Springfest, like where their green room was. You know that little patio with all the glass
Yeah.
doors
Yeah.
where they have little events and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Our apartment literally connected to that. So I didn't know that at the time, but We the Kings was in there and shit.
Yeah, we the Kings were there. And I will never forget, bro, when Joe and Box was supposed to perform right at Springfest. We were booked, we were ready to go. We had the whole thing ready to go. And I remember like the day of, they called me and they're like, "Yeah, so we are gonna book Sam Adams, and he doesn't want any opening acts, and we're paying him $40,000." And I was like, "You're paying him 40 grand?
you were getting paid?
What? You're getting paid for this?"
Dude, that's bullshit.
Like they didn't even fucking. They could
What
have
a
put you on the
fucking
fucking
asshole
quad or
move.
something. Like,
they could have. Yeah.
What an asshole move. If you're a bigger band and you're playing anywhere, like you should like if I was ever in that position, which I'm not, I would at least try and have the promoter put on one local act.
from the college too, that you're
yeah.
fucking gonna be playing.
Yeah.
at. Like
So there was a lot of shit, that like they didn't like hip hop. You know how it was? Like especially fucking Asbury. We would book shows in Asbury and then Joe and I would show up and they'd be like, "There's no hip hop allowed." And we'd be like, "We're white kids. What are you talking about? Like what?
You're like also
It's
like
music."
I told you who we are. Like,
Definitely.
Did you
I did not
listen
say
to
I'm a
us?
Zeppelin
They're-
cover band. Like,
Totally. And there's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of
think Kyle's
gatekeeping
answering
within
the phone and
Asbury.
actually
and,
listening to
like,
what you have to say.
Doesn't Asbury have like a
think he's
big
doing
a big sign with Trump on it that says resist, and like that includes like that
I don't know.
like signifies inclusivity, right? And being diverse and open to every and all culture and style.
Exactly.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like,
You gotta
it
paint the
kinda
picture of
sounds like
Asbury.
that they're full of shit.
Oh,
anyway,
definitely.
yeah. And that's not for any one person. That's just in general.
the scene,
What?
the whole scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
go on,
Actually
but
makes a lot of sense.
keep going. You can
No,
keep
yeah,
telling your
please,
story
you can
here,
cancel that.
please. So,
please get this off the
so
screen.
you start working in the studio.
Start working in the studio, start going there every day, and I would leave the door cracked. I would work on records, and then one day Flo's nephew walks by, and he's like, "This shit is dope." He's like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "This shit is fire." And then he calls his brother, who's Flo's other nephew, and he comes in and he's like, "Yo, I'm working on music. I just did one song." He's like, "I want to do some records with you." So me and him locked in for like 2 or 3 months. This was like the end of 2018, and we did a bunch of records. And Flo heard him, and he was like, "This like you're dope." He's like, "I want to work with you." He's like, and like I was never the type of person that at the studio like wanted to work with him. Like
You're just
everybody
doing
that
your
comes,
own thing.
I was just doing my own thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like most of the people that go there
Which
are like,
doesn't
"Oh, how do I get
surprise
the flow?"
You know what I mean? Because you're not really worried about crafting a vision for somebody else. You've always worried about putting out your material, what you think represents you the most.
Almost to a fault.
Almost exclusively.
I'm selfish. I don't want to write records for anybody else.
No, I mean, and that's there's no shame in saying that,
Definitely.
And also, it's good to write on other people's records because it expresses that fucking, that writing muscle.
Totally. Yeah. And it was something that I was like, all right, like I guess this is something that I'm good at. So I put the artist thing on hold. It was already kind of on hold, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do the writing, producing, engineering. And did like 50 records with Nephew, and then I started locking in with Flo. And at first I was just engineering for him, but then I would like vocal produce him, and then it got to the point where he would be like, "Oh, you got beats, you got your keyboard, you got your shit," and then we just start cooking up, and then
I feel like so many artists don't earn it. You know what I mean? Like they put themselves in a position that they're not ready for. Like I just went through this experience with myself. I was going out for roles and shows that I wasn't ready for, and I had to put the work in for first. And I feel like maybe that was your take too, kind of, is that like universally, like you might have felt ready, but the universe was like, you're not ready yet.
No,
you need to go. Definitely. You need to go put your dues in. Go to the voice coach.
Get better. Definitely,
go get rejected by everybody else first. Put your name out there, and then show people through process of elimination, and that you are determined that you're gonna do this. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt, definitely.
And then eventually you end up sticking the landing, and now you're here in my office, and
now I'm here in the office,
throwing it all away.
Throwing it all away on this show.
Totally. It's like you got to be fucking resilient, especially in this business. It's fucking feast and famine, and you got to struggle through the famine to get to the feast, and it's
so you would say, like, just to have it out there, you can't be like a frail bitch, right?
No, you got to be tough. You got to have thick skin,
right?
Definitely,
especially because really strong.
You have to have you have to have a hard cock in this business.
You got to have a big box cock.
Big box cock. No, really, because it's like, just to get an opportunity to get in the door, you have to have thick skin, and then to stay in the door, and then all the politics that go into just getting a record out once it's done.
So you would advise against, let's say, just like texting someone you don't speak to and being like, fuck you, you're the reason I'm not anywhere, right?
Definitely not. You don't want to, unless that person like chopped your fingers off and now you can't play bass. That would be, then it'd be like, all right, fuck. But then who knows, maybe you're like Nubby fucking Waters, and you're like
Nubby Waters,
Nubby Naps, and you're just snagging the bass.
Nubby Naps, slapping the bass, man. Nubby,
and now that bit was worth it. Nubby Waters.
This summer, one PAK.
He's got the flattest notes in all of bass.
Rippling through the community. Nubby Waters.
That's Tony Iommi's story, right?
Yeah, he lost his two fingers
because he worked in a metal shop.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and that's why they called it metal music, right? That's why they dubbed it metal.
I don't know about that.
No, I've heard that story. They called it metal because he lost
heavier than rock. That's literally
that makes a lot more sense. That makes
nothing
a lot more
but
sense.
rock.
But here's the thing, right? Like you could have you could have a light piece of metal and you could have a big rock.
That's true. Tin. That's pretty light.
Y'all are
listen, hold on, wait.
People were simple back then.
Hold on.
Like, you are really.
Can you say that last part again?
Yeah, you could have a thin piece of metal, or you could have a big rock.
He's got a big rock.
Shit.
There you go.
He's got a big rock.
Pat manifested that to happen.
Like I said, it's like the Joker scene in Batman. I'm gonna get this in here.
Oh yeah, that was forced.
So, but yeah,
can you introduce us to Flo?
Yeah.
Tramar, can I introduce you? Yeah, just if you come down to Miami, sure, that'd be great.
I really do want to go to
super
Miami.
humble.
Pat's got
he's a
8
really
songs
good guy.
that he wants to do something with.
It's true.
Perfect.
Is he into new metal?
I don't think he's ever listened to new metal.
Does he like corn?
Yeah, he loves corn, rice, beans.
That guitar is in drop B. Do you think he knows what that means?
He definitely knows what
he
that
knows what
means.
drop B means.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking.
It means to take off your clothes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no. He's got a lot of musical skill. He came from, and obviously, like, I don't know his whole
I'm not
backstory, but I
doubting
know,
his
like, what he
talent
told
and
me.
his skill. The man had a #1 hit on the radio for like 4 summers in a row.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, like I would be stupid to ever like, if that guy's a fucking idiot, what the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Like that's the perspective, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I would never go against that. Like, even the people that we make fun of on this show, like directors like Michael Bay or Uwe Boll or like
Kathleen Kennedy,
like, yeah, like we're critiquing the work, or like, but also like them as people, and their objective success in their industry is indisputable, and like that's something to be respected.
We never say we can do it better.
Oh, never, ever. As a matter of fact,
yes.
I'd probably do it worse.
I'd probably do
maybe Zack Snyder though.
Well,
I mean, 4 hours of Justice.
I will say, Nick, I am a beach. Okay, the tide goes in, the tide goes out on some movies. This guy is a fucking solid rock on his. Zack Snyder can go fuck himself.
He's firm. He has
yeah.
has an opinion, and
When I saw the Batman movie, I
like
walked
metal.
out of it and I said, like, Nick's gonna fucking love this movie because it's everything that Zack Snyder isn't.
And boy, I did.
So there is one story that I wanted to share that relates to comic books, which is, it's a big theme on this show. Do you remember when we were at my house in Larchwood? It was the three of us. I think Nick Timoneri, Matt was there, Matthias. Pretty sure that was it. Nobody else of note was there. And we we were watching Batman Under the Red Hood. And Boxman came over a little bit late into the movie, and he brought a treat for everyone. We'll use those words. He brought a treat for everyone. And
It was legal.
yes, it was a legal treat.
Allegedly.
We started indulging in the treats, and literally a quarter of the way through the movie, Box just goes, Robin's Red Hood, bro. And we hadn't even gotten to any of the nuggets yet. And I remember I just got up and I turned off the movie. And I was just like, and everyone's like, why? I was like, he just fucking ruined it. Like, that's it. Like, he got it.
I called
and I was like, and I go, did you know that from before? Like, because I knew that because I read the comic. But like, and he was like, nah, dude, I just put it together. Like, there's no way that it's not.
I'm not an idiot.
It's like everybody else in the room.
It was the special treats. It just makes the synapses fire in perfect ways. I was like, yep.
It's just so funny how like it was quiet. We're all into the movie, and he just goes, bro, fucking Robin's Red Hood. Like
shut her down.
Like he had gone through all the possible scenarios.
It's like, he's like the
Doctor
Riddler.
Strange
His
did.
brain works like a computer.
Exactly.
I got an M1 chip in here. It can process.
Yeah, the M1 Ultra. Yeah, I can see from this video that you've gone through some Intel chips.
Slow, rebooting. Yeah. Sometimes you got a little bit of a stutter, but the best thing is that sometimes I do have a little bit of a stutter, but when I'm performing, when I'm rapping, when I'm like doing that shit, I don't. It's the weirdest thing. It's like,
Do you know why?
I think it has to do with autism.
Is it
No.
weaponized?
It's actually because like the part of your brain for talking and music are completely different parts.
Yes,
So
I have
people
heard that.
frequently with speech impediments can sing no problem.
So the talking part of Ozzy's brain was ruined by all the alcohol, but the singing
No,
part
you're
is
not-
still perfectly
you're not wrong.
fine. Yeah. So when he performs now, he still fucking destroys.
Well,
but when he tries to talk,
Sharon!
I want to clarify. It wasn't the alcohol. It was all the drugs that were prescribed to him. He doesn't.
Oh,
He
that's
doesn't do that
true.
shit anymore because his family was like, "Well, how many fucking prescriptions are you taking?" And they cut him down, and he's doing much better.
Wow.
that's good to hear.
Yeah, you can't kill that guy.
So what's
No,
your
he is unkillable.
The Prince of Darkness.
what's your plan for like going forward? Like, what do you want to do with this?
What's your 5-year plan?
Do you have like a record coming out, or is it just a single?
So it's singles after singles after singles. So I have a single dropping
Thank
pretty much every
Christ, dude.
month
I like
from now until Putin
I
decides to
really
nuke the world.
hope that young artists figure that out. That it's for guys at this level. It's a
Yeah.
singles game.
It is totally.
It's a
I think
singles
that
and
you
it's
got
an
to
EPs
brand
game.
yourself. Definitely. Nobody, at least as an upcoming artist, nobody wants to listen to 17 songs from somebody that they don't know.
Not to sound like Gary Vee, but are you making content?
No, really. Like you got to make that. You got to make it interesting. You got to brand
Musicians
it well.
got to
you
be
gotta look
content
well.
creators today. They have to be.
And if you're not going to be a content creator, then you got to make sure that your brand makes sense to why you're not putting out a lot of content.
Yeah.
Like you got to market that exclusivity of it. Like
Yeah, where we just dump everything out on the internet that's possible. I ring this show for everything.
everything. We are everywhere.
Yeah,
No, but that's what you got to do. So me, like I'm gonna put out my artist project. I have singles dropping every month. I have songs that I've done with people like Flo and like Pitt and like Shaggy and all the people that will be coming out. And so it's just balancing the production aspect of it. Like my production company now, we are also a label, so we're looking in other artists that we're gonna distribute.
Do you need a
all that.
website?
No.
No, thank you. We're okay.
It's it's funny they say that because we're in the process now of actually making the website and everything. But it's just a landing page.
Yeah.
It's just a landing page where
you want
with
to
links
name
to
drop it?
Yeah,
so
do you
people
wanna-
can check it
yeah.
out?
everything. Well,
Is it ready yet?
so
Yeah.
my
Is
website.
it ready yet?
No, it's not ready yet. So it'll be boxofandy.com.
Did
That's where all of my
you already
content-
bid out the project? Who's got it?
What a weird question to ask on a podcast, bud.
Hey, I'm
bidding
trying
out
to
the
get us
project?
paid over here. No.
So Boxman, I
Got to
noticed.
keep that on the
Let's
DL.
talk finances, man.
Yeah.
What are you planning on being profitable?
We better be profitable. Well, as it turns out, the spreadsheets look like by the second quarter last year, we turned a profit.
I noticed you doing the two different colored boxes as your in your social, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
orange and white.
The orange, white, and then so like the whole color
Do you know
palette.
about Marigold?
Do I know? Marigold is the shit. I
They're
love the
doing
way that
orange
they
and
brand
blue
everything.
circles.
Yeah.
I want you guys to collab.
We are gonna have to. I saw Joe
Cover
on,
art's
on
just gonna be
Friday.
emotional.
Fitness
Oh,
nice.
came for them.
No, they
Okay.
came for Blink Fitness. Let's
Blink,
get real.
they put out that whole marketing campaign, and all of a sudden, Blink Fitness just changed its colors ever so coincidentally. That's bullshit.
Coincidence? I think not.
Okay, it's bullshit. Okay, Marigold's here first, motherfucker.
Marigold's here. Stay.
Yeah,
We
Right?
stand with Marigold here.
That's funny as hell.
Either way, though. So future. It's all singles game.
Singles game.
And you're making
until-
content.
yeah, making content.
Cool.
You know, I'm on TikTok for the first time ever doing my
I
dumb
do
videos.
see you on TikTok,
Love it.
and that's the
Yeah.
one thing I can't do. I can't figure out how to make TikToks interesting that are not just clips from this podcast.
Bro, if you figure out how to do, let me know. I'm literally videotaping myself doing little dances to the music.
saw
That's all you have to
little
do.
Skits and
Like-
shit. There's some big
All right, Mike,
TikTokers
you're gonna
down
do the
in
TikToks.
I'm on
Miami.
TikTok for like 4
Like I
hours
had
a
the
day.
pleasure of working with Malu Trevejo maybe like a couple weeks ago, and I played her the song and she loved it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, send it over and I'll do a dance to it." And I sent it over to her and she hasn't answered me back yet. So Malu, if you're watching,
I've had that too happen
going.
before, where
Yeah.
I've sent somebody something and we had a agreement on something and they
that's
just didn't.
that's every
It's
day
just-
in this business.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so-
no, not either of you.
I don't
guys.
know what you're getting at.
I mean, I don't want to say their name and what
I don't
it was.
want you to either.
Yeah. No,
I'm
it's-
just wondering why you keep doing this to
Yeah, put it
everyone.
in the comments.
Why
we're
Nick
gonna-
and I
we're
are sitting
dropping it.
here.
All right, so you listen to this show. My favorite part of this show is the disappointed head shakes that I get.
Oh, yeah, all the
when there is some
Fair.
really crude humor comes up, or like some really like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that's my favorite, is torturing them through the process.
Yeah.
Because I live with this. Like, this podcast is a part of me at this point. I can't
Totally.
get away. Like, I do it in this room. I edit in this room. Like, it's everywhere.
Definitely,
okay?
definitely.
This
You
is
know what
my
I'm saying?
tomb.
Yeah, totally.
So like these 2 hours during the week is my time to really fucking have a good time. And part of that is torturing my friends.
Of course.
And to be honest, it's always been that. Especially when we live together.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, bro. Definitely. I think everybody was kind of on that same accord. I think Pat gets off on other people's misery. Yeah.
That's who he is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it depends. But yeah,
I mean, obviously,
definitely,
he doesn't want anyone to be hurt.
yeah.
Maybe just
Unless it's
emotionally.
clip of the week.
Unless it's clip of the
That's
week.
you,
fucking
Nick.
clip of the week.
You want those people to be hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of
So yeah, singles
lot of stuff
game
coming.
content.
singles game content and
shows.
shows. We are getting there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there. There's so many shows down in Miami that like I have people that run shows that once it gets to that point that I'll be doing that. But I don't have anything planned yet as far as performances. I was at the point I was performing like 3 times a fucking night for like 3-4 years. Like from
That's
like 2015
awesome,
to like
dude.
2018. I was like doing we were doing 3-hour
But
sets
that's
at different venues. and it
but
was
like, don't you look back on that now and you're like, I had to go through that
Oh,
to
of course. No, it was
understand the
fucking great.
perspective that I'm at right now.
Yeah,
You know
and-
what I
and
mean?
if I
Like, you
didn't do
have
that,
to
I
look
wouldn't have-
back on all the shit to like,
Absolutely.
like your past really does define what your future can be. You know what
Sure.
I mean? Especially when you learn from that shit. But even that's more like a macro level. On like a performer's level specifically, and especially in your profession,
Yeah,
producing records, like
Totally.
going through the clubs and doing all of the performing, I feel like is really formidable, like really
Yes,
important
totally.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
You
I think
know?
it teaches you, one of the things that is the most important thing about music, and like what I tell artists that I'm working with is like, it's obviously you have to have the notes right. Obviously the song's got to be written right, but you got to deliver it. It's all about performance. Performance
Yeah.
makes everything. You could have a shitty song, but if the person delivers it right, it's going to be fucking amazing.
Now, I feel like that's the only way
Characters,
that 90% of artists really can make money is with a good performance these days, wouldn't you say? Unless they learn to commoditize a different way, or like they're just such a big fucking name that they get so
Yeah.
many streams and downloads.
Well, but I mean, like performance, like yes, live, but also like on the record, like when you're in the studio, like you need to give that character and that believability. Like,
Yeah.
that's what separates, in my opinion, like a newer artist that's being developed from an artist that is developed and that is out. Like flow, like maybe needs to be vocal produced as far as, okay, let's do these harmonies, let's do this, but he knows how he's supposed to deliver something. He gets on the mic and immediately it's, he's like, welcome to my, he's not, welcome to my, he gives the character, the voicing, everything. It's the performance.
Exactly. And I think that's like, you don't understand what that is until you go through it.
Straight
and
up,
like,
definitely.
You got to fuck up in front of people for years until you figure out what's... I feel like
you got to get screamed at in the studio, bro, and that's what he does. So we developed this artist, Oya baby, shout out Oya, super dope. She has a few records out now that we produce, but she wasn't an artist before we started doing records. So Flo, literally, bro, we would be in there for 12 hours, and he would just be, no, that's not fucking right, Oya. I fucking love you. You ain't doing that shit right. Andy, fucking tell her she ain't doing that shit right. Oh, you're not doing that shit right. You gotta fucking do, and literally 12 hours of just screaming at her to get it out. But what it did is it conditioned her to be stronger and to fucking get it out. You gotta, you can't rap like this. You can't.
And to shake if someone screams on a roller coaster.
Well, that's so much of it too. Like when you're working with people who are like, either professional performers or professional artists, like you said, they get in there and they're like, I know what I need to do, and I know being in here is not the time to figure it out.
Definitely.
You walk up to it and you walk up to it ready. And that's I think that's one of the coolest things when we get to work with at my job, like musicians or artists and vocalists that come in and they just turn the switch when they're in front of that. It's
crazy to see.
It's like such a beautiful thing to watch.
I genuinely believe that if you are an artist or a performer of any type, if you are determined and trying to break through to the other side, and really show your opportunity and know you have talent, and you're trying and you're trying and you're trying, the universe will let you know when you're ready.
Definitely.
And I feel like where you're at right now, this is like you've already built the foundation. You know what I mean? Like let's just, hopefully, let's say that this single takes off, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a bunch of people who are like, "Who is this guy? He just showed up," and it's like, no,
like,
he
here's
didn't.
a video from him 10 years ago. Like,
definitely. Yeah.
I used to live with this guy in this video.
We struggled for years. All right. I got 3 plays on videos for years and all that. And no, I think music is in a really exciting place now because I think that there's a market for everything. I think that as long as you do you,
like a corpse, dude.
You do you.
Look at him. He's he's an all digital musician. Gets tens of millions of streams.
Crazy.
Fucking huge.
You have the availability to put out whatever you want and target your so specific audience because visibility now is infinitely accessible.
And it's only going to get more so, especially with the metaverse. Like content is going to be especially musical content is going to be so
swear to
in
God,
demand.
like the metaverse has since 2020 has become the fucking Thanos tease of every episode of Press Any Key, because as some technology we talk about or something we love is getting absorbed by the metaverse, so it's like you want to be on top of it.
Andrew Boxman.
Yeah, and now it's taking my box of cocks.
Eventually, so it's like Box of Andy, it's going to be this virtual space that you can go and you can consume the content. There'll be, NFTs that you can purchase. There'll be shows that you can watch. There'll be things that you can listen to, other, things, and it'll be like a virtual, like a box.
Experiential, and performances, design, and everything else is going to be moving.
I was also just talking
to
one of my colleagues about this the other day about the metaverse in general and like what it's going to do for our profession and everything, and how it's going to change the way we fundamentally think about web travel and what type of experience we can deliver when everyone has these VR headsets so readily available. And I have to stop and ask myself, it's like, am I ready to do that? Like, because I fucking have that VR headset. It's not just a fucking...
It's not just a
Let's
Pornhub
just go
thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to calibrate it. You got a whole bunch of things. I mean, it definitely is a Pornhub machine, but you got to calibrate it. Like this whole room is digitally drawn in that headspace. So if you take it somewhere else, it doesn't know how to operate outside of it.
Gotcha.
Like there's strides that we have to go, but Facebook or Meta, I guess, is all in on this at this point. You know what I mean? Like they have sacrificed $500 billion in market cap.
I
for
definitely
this.
think that VR is the future. I'm not sure if the metaverse is that. I would like to see more AR stuff, and my big thing that I always get caught up in is thinking about how we can turn spaces almost like how you go to a escape the room type thing, or anything that's like a physical space where you do an activity. I would like to see things like that augmented by VR.
Oh, I think that you'll definitely see.
You
that.
could do
Almost
like
skins
a
over
laser
reality.
tag arena.
Well, it's like
skinned in AR.
It's like Star Trek, like the holodeck.
Holodeck,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's exactly
I think
like
that's
that.
the stuff that's really going to game change.
But
The
you just said something.
the danger
genius.
room for X-Men.
Laser
It's
tag.
like all holograms.
They have
augmented
they
AR.
have
That's
similar things
And
like
it's
that. You can go to experiences
World War
now.
II laser
Yo,
tag.
I went to
World War II.
I went to this laser tag place
Don't
over
throw
here.
the Jews in there. They get a little scared.
World War One laser tag.
Still don't put the Jews in there. Wasn't a good time for us back then.
Anymore. Don't put the
It's just a VR trench, and you're. I'm not going up there.
It's like in Family Guy with the one thing where it's like the Italian guys arguing with the African American woman, and the flock of Jews fly away, sensing the.
You know how the World War One VR game ends. The credits roll, and first thing your character says is, "Wow, my foot hurts," and the other one is, and his partner sneezes.
Trench foot ain't no joke.
It sucks. Have you seen pictures?
Yeah.
You're like, it sucks. I've had it so many times.
Check out this,
It's like Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
You're sick. You're sick.
Second week in a row, we were doing a Mr. Deeds reference.
Great
Yeah.
movie.
Shout
dude.
out John Turturro.
John Turturro. All right. So, anything else that you want to promote or talk about, or
Plug your socials.
you know, all
Well,
that
yeah,
stuff?
I mean, you can follow me at Box of Andy. You know, I got records dropping. So the whole thing is that we are, we're trying to progress alternative music. You know, I don't say that my music is hip hop because I don't feel that I don't really appeal to where hip hop is. You know, like I'm more of like the alternative pop, alternative rock, alt hip hop. You know, so it's that. You know, I got a bunch of content dropping. Also follow Samia Star Hustle. So my girl, she's also an amazing artist. She's an R&B pop singer. She's got a lot of content coming out. And yeah, just, I guess, yeah, that's really it. Just stay tuned with shit. You know, I'm not the kind of person, I'm not going to tell everyone to go follow me. I like to keep my shit kind of like exclusive. If you know about
follow
me,
him.
then you know about me.
I'll tell him.
You know?
I'll tell him.
Right.
You
Put
know?
the links in the.
Yeah,
bio.
we'll put the links in
Yeah,
the bio.
put
It'll be
links
no
in the bio and
problem.
all that stuff. But
Jess, you're
yeah,
gonna get his links, right?
And
I love how she just
anybody
rolls her
out
eyes.
there
Yeah.
who is doing the same thing that's in the creative field, the music field, just keep fucking going. You know, just keep fucking going. You never know when that break is gonna come, when you're gonna get to the point. And I think that you have to define what success is to you. You know, like a lot of people get into the game and I'm gonna be Kurt Cobain. I'm gonna be Jay-Z. I'm gonna be that. But you realize that there's amazing careers that you can find within the industry that are just as rewarding, that you don't have to be that person. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
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 A lot of different avenues that you can go.
Cool.
For sure. For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so
That's a good sentiment.
we're taking over
So you want to see somebody get hurt?
very badly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jess. All right.
I've been waiting to do that fucking
I
dance.
bet you
I'm
have.
glad- I'm
Every
glad
week
you
I'm like,
Pull off your
let's
clothes.
get it.
All right. So this one's fun. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it for people who are listening. This guy, I think this is a dash cam. He's got his truck outside of his shed, and I think he's trying to climb up the side of it. Seems pretty windy outside right now. I think he's like
windy.
trying to secure something in the storm.
Like
you know?
tar pit or whatever.
Yeah.
and just like that, he's gone.
So he's trying to fix his tornado shelter.
Off this motherfucker. That was great. Yeah, he was trying to fix it.
So like,
there's an outtake from the new Twister movie that they're filming, directed by James Wan.
but it's okay. In reverse, it's always better.
What?
Like he's straight up, like he's 90 degrees at this
Dude, he
point.
is like,
you know what I'm
he's like
saying?
10
Yeah.
feet in the air too. Like, you're
So
not
for anyone
landing
who's just
okay.
listening, I guess he has like a piece of plastic or like a piece of like vinyl or something on the actual top of the shed, and he's got tarp on top of that I guess he's trying to secure during a storm, and he didn't get to it
He
in
did
time.
not. No, not at all.
So he climbs up the roof.
It's also crazy. He's on top of it, and that's when it decides to like.
Right?
Like you put more weight. Oh, he probably put weight on the front of it.
Oh, for
Pop
sure.
it back up.
Definitely.
Like,
That's fucking great.
That's like the world's largest surfboard right there.
We just need down.
All right, I'm gonna be going good here. We go. Oh no! I'm just wondering. Okay, you see that little thing? I think he shit his pants. There it is, right there. Drop it.
God,
Man, that is a mighty big load.
the invention of dash.
Where did you
cams and
find
the
this?
proliferation of them?
Where did I find this?
Yeah.
You don't worry about that.
We don't do that. We don't do that here.
Did you find this?
Okay.
The dark web.
The dark web. That's where I hang out with all my
That's the
Riddler
thing.
buddies.
It's like because we all share so many of the same subreddits that we follow, we can't really cross contaminate because then the surprise of clip of the week.
Honestly, the other
Makes
thing
sense,
is
makes
like
sense. I don't need to know.
So,
All right.
so the other thing is that the life that we've chosen doing this podcast with like it's been great. Everybody here has a good time. We all like each other. We all get along. The problem is that we're also friends. So I can't just call Nick when I get out of the new Batman movie and be like, you have to see this shit, man. It's fucking unbelievable. Cause it's all content that I'm just burning.
Not only that, like,
I see what you're saying.
I got out of Batman after he already seen it, and I was like, I just want to tell you that I really liked it. I'm not going to say anything more than that. And then, of course, 10 minutes later, we're like, oh, what about that part with it? And it's like, no, I got to stop myself.
Well, see, bro, you fuck with us, right? With me, really, because I follow your Instagram, right? So when you and Liz were walking out of the movie theater and you were like, 1 out of 10, horrible, worst movie ever. We fucking bought that. So we were like, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So we went into the movie thinking it was going to be bad.
I am shocked at the fact of people who have been following me on social media for years that even when I put a full audio, like color video of clear sarcasm, people are still like, the new Batman sucked. Like, if Pat saw it and he didn't like it, it has to be bad.
You fucking sold me on it.
Well, here's the thing. I built that brand.
I was going to say, that is your fault.
Integrity. We think that.
But
I value your opinion.
When I gave an awful review to Venom, everybody was like, of course. But Batman, everyone was like, how could this be? I was like, no. And everyone who messaged me, like one guy was like, no bat nipples. So obviously, he was joking.
Yeah.
But like somebody else was like, seriously, dude, did they really fuck this up? I was like, no, dude, I'm obviously like kidding.
I tell you, Alexis bought it too. We were like, I bought the tickets in advance, and then I was like, all right, you excited? You ready to go? And she was like, I was, but then I saw that Pat didn't like it, and I was like, it was a joke.
I literally I broke it to her like that. I was like, my friends that have the podcast, I was like, he does really honest reviews, and he's usually right with everything, and he said it's horrible. She's like, oh my God, that's so disappointing. So we're in the movie the whole time, and we're literally watching it. We're watching it through the lens of it's a bad movie.
And then you're both like, this is good, but am I wrong?
Yeah, no, so it was like it's all right, like, but okay. Was it that it was too long that he didn't like it? Was it that it was like what didn't he like about it?
Oh no,
you can't do this anymore. You have to be sincere.
There has to be a disclaimer.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll just say it
us.
right here, just like
if Pat tips his hat in video, that's sarcasm.
Wow, that's wild.
So now I'm gonna have to watch it again with just open eyes because I was closed minded.
I can't believe that.
Horrible.
I always say on this show that even if I like it or I didn't like it, you should still watch it because your mileage may vary. Like, and that's what I say.
That's also hysterical because
really
this was you talking, not just even typing or texting.
No,
This was straight up. No,
I
it wasn't talking.
always
It was
tell
both
people
of
to
them,
watch
and that's
it.
why I thought it was so real because
so it's Liz's fault, too.
also was like horrible, terrible, worst thing I've ever seen. 1 out of 10 in the bottom corner. You're walking out of the movies. It was really believable, bro.
That's fucking.
I was so
Liz
disappointed. I
pushed
bought
it
my
over the top.
tickets. I was like so souped. We went to like the dine-in theater. So
This
like,
is
you
like
get,
when
dinner and
this is
shit.
like when someone photoshopped me into a fucking frame from Drama Alert a couple days after I started Twitch, and people legit thought I was on Drama Alert. Like, really, he's on social media for fucking 3 days, and he's on fucking Keemstar's show. Like, that's like, so. I mean,
Mama, we made it.
I guess misinformation really is an issue, huh?
Bro, fake news. Don't fucking lie again in your reviews, bro.
Or I will come for you.
No, bro,
I'll fuck you up all
I
the
will
way
be
from
calling
Miami,
you
bro.
after all the reviews. Hey, so listen, I saw you give it a 6 out of 10. What's the real steal? All right, what's the real
Give me the
deal?
insider.
Ron
info here.
DeSantis is already
I will
writing up
say,
the paperwork.
even like people who I've spoken to in passing, specifically about Batman. Like, I was just talking to my buddy John the other day, first time I talked to him in a while, and he was just like, oh, by the way, how was Batman? He's like, you're the fucking guy to ask how Batman was.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I gave him my short review and everything. He goes, all right, cool. He's like, I figured I'm probably going to get tickets to it this week then. It's like, was me telling you that it was good? That was what like pushed you over the edge.
Definitely,
like,
definitely. You should be making money.
Put in
Everybody
the
that you refer
promo
to the
code,
movie.
press
to-
I mean, when you're buying your tickets.
I don't want to like, we could do this off off
Nubby
microphone,
waters.
but I have had that. Like people have been telling me I should just start a YouTube channel for years, and here we are.
Here we go.
So,
Press any
I
key.
just roped in my
Finally
friends to
listened.
do it. So, but yeah. Anyway, that being said, nothing else to promote, right?
No, Rougher Side of Love out now. Go get it.
Any all streaming platforms?
All
All
streaming
stream
platform.
everywhere you fucking stream music.
Same
all right?
place you find this
Anywhere.
show.
YouTube Music.
But don't fucking follow me, okay?
Yeah.
This shit is exclusive.
You can torrent
all
that
right?
shit too. Pirate Bay. All right, Russia, we got you.
We got you. Putin, we're coming for you.
He is, not me. He's coming for you.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know
Not
what you-
me.
No, really. Thank you guys for fucking having me. This was
Thanks for
great.
coming.
Thanks
I
so
haven't
much
seen you
for
guys in
flying
years.
all the way
See
from
you, yeah.
Florida to come right for this show
Specifically
Nothing can
for
stop
for
me.
this.
I'm all the way up. There we go. It's perfect.
He just goes, yeah, well, it was on the way. So,
It's in the neighborhood.
all right.
Colonial.
Yeah, thanks so much, and we'll
Like
see
and
you all
subscribe.
next week. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit the fucking subscribe button, all right?
But not to him.
I hit subscribe about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Is the best decision I ever made. Every Sunday night's part of my Sunday night ritual. I come home after the studio, I wind down, I eat food. You can ask her every fucking Sunday. I'm in front of the tube watching Press Any Key.
even
All right,
when
there
it's
you
not
go.
on.
I'm not gonna lie. Even when it's not, but I'm not gonna lie. When it's not like all of you guys in there, like I'm like when I turn on, I'm like, oh fuck. But it usually ends up getting there. But also, I
Now
feel
you-
so
now
bad.
you know.
Also, if I can
You
just put
need
this
us.
on record,
The
if I can
supporting
put it on record,
cast.
shout out to the most. She's so she's underappreciated on the show, but Jess does so much work behind the board.
Can we get an applause from the
Engineering, doing
board?
all this stuff. I feel so bad because she always gives great insight, and you guys just cut her off. Like you guys give all this great. You guys have like 3 hours.
No,
And then
no,
just-
dude.
the
We
best
have
is when
had
her
this
mic was
conversation.
muted,
We have
and she'd
had
be
this
like-
conversation. We have had this conversation.
Jess, how many
And-
times you been invited to the table here? Why?
got
That's
it.
such
What
bullshit.
did you tell me? What did you tell me after you got on the table one time?
I just
You
like,
said I would rather
that's life with
engineer the
Pat.
show.
You're gonna constantly get
But
cut off.
wait. You
Constantly
you're,
get cut off.
Again, more than welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll sit
I
behind
don't
there.
have a mic, so.
She's saying she doesn't
She's saying
have a
she,
mic.
She
I
loves
stole it
working for
today.
the show,
I
and she
stole it.
doesn't want to say anything. Is what she said.
She says it's been great.
As an engineer, I know how it is. We are the offensive linemen of the creative industry. We make or break the plays, but we get the least amount of respect. Everyone loves the running backs, everyone loves the artists, but the producers and the engineers, we are the linemen. So shout
That
out
is
to
true.
Jess.
It is true.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Follow at ResFX.
We'll see you guys next week.